saying thank you for letting us be a part of your homes for a century. Visit PellaPNW.com to schedule your free consultation today. Pella, 100 years strong.
Are you worried about economic conditions, tariffs, and inflation? Are you tired of trying to time the stock market? Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given current market volatility. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years with zero investor losses, averaging double-digit returns since inception, and we also accept IRAs. Over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Feeling uneasy? Don't gamble your hard-earned money or risk your retirement. Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, returning 9%, has limited openings for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. The U.S. is on track to have its second busiest tornado year ever. Mississippi requested federal disaster assistance after tornadoes tore through the state, and it still hasn't received any 2 months later.
I know President Trump said that America first, we're going to help our American folks first, but we haven't seen the federal folks down here.
CBS's Nicole Skanga reports.
Mississippi is in a bit of a disaster purgatory right now. There were nearly 20 tornadoes that ripped through the state back in March. There were hundreds of houses destroyed during that time. At least 7 people killed as a result of that storm. The governor of Mississippi then applied on April 1st for federal funding for FEMA. We still have not seen that funding come through, even though in neighboring Arkansas, which saw the same series of tornadoes and storms, that federal funding did come through on May 13th.
There are also concerns about weather service staffing. One office in hard-hit Kentucky has been closing nightly due to a lack of workers because of government cuts. Governor Andy Beshear was touring storm damage today with more severe weather in the forecast.
We need everybody to be weather aware. We need everybody to have a place to go tonight, preferably that has a basement.
There has been an arrest in the escape of 10 jail inmates in New Orleans. A sheriff's department worker, Katie Weiss, reports.
This maintenance worker is accused of helping the inmates turn off the water supply so that the inmates could then pull the toilet from the wall and successfully make their escape without getting drenched.
6 are still on the loose. President Trump was on Capitol Hill today to convince fellow Republicans to work past their differences and pass his budget plan. The president used words like unity, but there were veiled threats as well, as Natalie Brand reports.
The White House is framing this as a potential tax increase on Americans if it fails to move forward. The president hoping that he can seal the deal, at least when it comes to the House.
Israel claims more than 90 aid trucks entered Gaza today. The UN says no aid has reached Palestinians. In the meantime, Israel is pressing ahead with its military offensive, and Britain is suspending free trade talks in response. Prime Minister Keir Starmer.
The level of suffering, innocent children being bombed again, is utterly intolerable.
On Wall Street, the Dow is off 268 points. This is CBS News.
Progressive Insurance. Progressive can protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, RV, and more. In short, a lot of things. Bundle today at Progressive.com.
We're hearing from the mother of a victim in a triple killing. The story coming up at first from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. In Tumwater on I-5, WashDOT is wrapping up its pothole repair on southbound I-5 near Maytown, and the backup is nearly gone from that. But now we're getting reports of a crash on I-5 northbound at Maytown. No backup just yet. Other than that, no major blocking problems. Travel times Everett to Seattle, 27 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 22. Renton to Bellevue, 14. All at or below the usual travel times for this time of day. Traffic brought to you by Beacon Plumbing. For all your heating, electrical, septic, and mechanical needs, stop freaking, call Beacon.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Heather Bosch. As cold case detectives dig in the backyard of a Tacoma home, there's renewed interest in 2-year-old Tika Lewis, who disappeared from a bowling alley just a few blocks away many years ago. But KIRO News Radio's James Lynch joins us live. And James, cops there are not saying what case they're looking into?
They are not, Heather, and that's an important note. They say they've been working on this tip that brought them here for the past 2 months. Now, they have 147 cold cases dating back to 1936, and they are trying to be sensitive to the families until they have more certainty. Here's Shelby Boyd with Tacoma Police.
Officers, detectives worked into the night. They went home, got some rest. They came back this morning. So, yeah, it's a tip in a cold case. Someone died.
Now, this team worked late into the night and got started again early this morning. Right now, we just wait. Live in Tacoma, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Thank you, James. Seattle police are investigating a shooting today that happened just blocks away from a triple killing in Pioneer Square over the weekend. Medics treating someone this morning say they saw a 26-year-old shoot a 44-year-old man in the chest. The victim was transported to Harborview in serious condition, and the suspect was arrested. Meantime, the mother of one of the victims in Saturday's triple killing returned to the site in Pioneer Square. KIRO 7 TV's Madeline Audley spoke to her.
Christina Rivas says her daughter Kailani Harris should be here. Only 19, Christina says Kailani was one of 3 people in the wrong place at the wrong time, killed in a shooting outside this Pioneer Square nightclub.
Being here, seeing where she laid, I have no words to describe what I'm feeling inside.
More than 2 days later, police are still searching for a suspect.
An Alaska Airlines flight from Chicago to Portland landed safely yesterday after a tire failed during takeoff. KIRO 7 TV reports the crew noticed the problem shortly after leaving O'Hare. They continued on to Portland, declaring an emergency just in case. More than 1,000 healthcare workers who struck recently in Bellingham are preparing to vote on a new contract. The latest from KIRO 7 TV's Eric Thomas.
So they reached a tentative agreement with Peace Health following last week's strike. 2 unions representing a wide range of workers, including lab staff, clinicians, physician assistants, housekeeping teams, and more. Now, the new agreement includes higher wages and improved benefits, and voting will start on Thursday morning.
This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly cloudy skies today with highs around 60. It is 57 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News. It's the all-new Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio.
Welcome to the show. Thank you all so much for tuning in and hanging out with us. You might be on the YouTube page. You might be listening in your car, at your home, or on one of your smart devices. However you're doing it, we're glad to be with you. I'm Jake Skorheim, sitting alongside Spike O'Neill.
Hi, buddy.
Happy Tuesday to you, Spike.
Tuesday to you, my friend.
I thought it was Wednesday all morning.
Yeah?
All morning I thought it was Wednesday.
Why?
And I don't know. Just been a very busy
daily mix up there?
It's been a very busy day.
I thought it was Wednesday because I had to go home yesterday and get my phone again.
I forgot about that.
So I've actually driven to work 3 times this week. So technically it is Wednesday for me. So I'm not going to be here Friday because I've put in my 5 rides.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. That was a wasted opportunity on my part. I could have made fun of you for that.
I thought you did it. I thought you took the high road.
Thought I was
and
being
just
gracious?
Dodged. Yes.
No, that's
that
not
wasn't
me.
the case. It was short-term memory loss.
It was.
What is it about me and this phone?
This was funny. I remember this now like it was yesterday because it was. I thought it was 2 days ago.
It's not just a clever saying then.
No, but yesterday we usually do our show meeting at like 10 o'clock.
Yeah, and we get together.
We sit down and you're looking around and you instantly have this frustration on your face.
All the blood left my face. Let's tell you what it is. All the blood left my face and the pain.
And you were annoyed.
Because
what is
paranoia.
A week ago?
Yeah,
you had to go get
about a week ago.
About a week ago.
And I haven't done this in eons.
Now twice in 2 weeks. Is this going to become a normal thing?
I hope so. It was great to get another commute. It was
you had
awesome.
to trudge back out to your car, drive home.
Drive all the way home. My wife came. And that's the thing. When I get home after something like this, I walk in the door.
I know what she says.
At 10:30.
What's wrong?
Did you get fired again? That's what, because we'd been down this path before.
Yeah, sure.
Right? See, what are you doing home?
Yeah.
All the blood leaves her face.
My wife does the same thing. I came home early, like a few weeks back. I came home early for some reason. I was sick or something. I don't know what it was. But I was way early. And I walk in and she goes, "What happened?" And I was like,
right?
I was like,
what did you do?
Yeah, what did you do? Did you say something? Did you get canceled?
Right?
Yeah, ridiculous.
No, but it was funny because, Joe, the John Curley Show.
Yeah.
Joe says to me, you know what?
Producer of the John Curley
that's
Show.
That's just what a gift that is. How lucky you are. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, I couldn't leave the room without my phone in my hand. He goes, you were able to leave the house and drive all the way to work.
Twice.
Right. And not realize that you didn't have your phone.
Yeah.
He goes, I don't have that kind of detachment from my phone isn't even something like, it's not even a possibility for me.
I told you should figure out some way to get it permanently attached.
Yeah, I'm working on the cuff phone case combo.
Sure.
We're working on in the shop in the garage.
That's smart. It's called an Apple Watch. Just get an Apple Watch.
Yeah.
Well,
somebody else asked.
My grandma's constantly answering phone calls on her Apple Watch. She'll call her and she'll say, "Hold on, you're on the watch. Hold on."
And then she switches over to her phone.
Yeah.
But don't you have to have your phone nearby for it to work?
I don't know.
I think it pairs with your.
Does it pair?
Mine pairs with my phone, but maybe there's a version that's more expensive than mine.
Does it have the capacity to do what my phone does if I am stupid enough to leave my phone at home again? Because I could, that's the thing about not having your phone. I know there's that fear of missing out on big news, but it's not like we're not at a news station.
You don't really care about that. You want to have.
I want to make sure the wife
family has
can get a hold of
access
me.
to you.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the old ball and phone.
That's
call
right.
It. Yeah,
that's the term. Ball and phone. So you had to leave yesterday.
Yeah.
Laura is coming back. Laura was also gone yesterday.
I was.
Did
you miss me?
Well, I knew you were gone. And we missed you.
that was loving.
Because we don't ask questions around here.
No.
Rules
Did
and
you notice
regulations.
that I wasn't here?
I noticed that you weren't here.
You noticed you were a lot shorter yesterday than you are today.
Darker hair.
Darker hair. You had a different name. But I didn't know why you were gone. I just assumed it was some sort of an appointment or something, or maybe a haircut. I had no idea. And so when you
came back and you were like, well, obviously it wasn't a haircut.
And again,
you are taller.
I have a policy though that I would never comment on somebody's hair. I don't do it, and so I would never comment on that. But your hair looks nice, by the way.
Thank you.
Where were you?
I was in Chicago.
Which is what?
Yeah.
Why were you in Chicago?
I was in Chicago to see Beyonce.
Oh, Beyonce.
On her Cowboy Carter tour.
How was it?
It was amazing.
Pretty amazing.
Oh my God, it's so good.
There's no closer venue that you could have gone and seen?
Honestly, there wasn't.
Halfway across the country.
You flew by 7 other concerts to get there.
There wasn't like a Vegas show that you could have gone to?
So there was an LA show, but Chicago was more in the middle for my cousin and my aunt to drive down from Ohio.
Oh, okay.
My sister to fly out from New York City. And then my mom and I came from Seattle. So we all kind of coalesced in the middle.
Gotcha. That makes more sense.
It was amazing. Yeah, we considered the LA show, but that,
Well, so you flew out, you went to the concert. You didn't come back the same day.
No, I went to the Sunday night show, which was like the third final night of her Chicago stop.
Got it.
And then I flew back on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
God, once you've been to a Beyonce show, you will do everything in your power and wallet to go to every single show. Like,
really?
It sounds crazy that I would fly to Chicago for this.
It does sound crazy. But it makes sense with the family.
I flew to Houston 2 years ago as well to see her on the Renaissance tour. And I saw her on her Lemonade tour in Seattle. And it was just like life-changing. She is such an amazing performer.
There you go.
The set design is incredible. It's like a 3-hour, almost like Taylor's, well, I would say better than Taylor Swift.
Laura's a big concert. I'm getting the sense that Laura's a big concert person.
You're an experienced person.
I'm very much an experienced person.
That's the thing.
That's where I want to spend my money. Yep.
Can I tell you about an experience that I'm trying to get out of right now, and I'm not sure how to do it?
A Beyonce concert in Vegas?
I have figured out how to not go to a Beyonce concert. I just don't.
have you mastered it?
I just don't go. But I'm supposed to go to jury duty tomorrow, and I've never been in jury duty. There's a part of me that thinks that it sounds. People talk about jury duty and they go, "Oh, it's really interesting," and to be part of the process, and we get to see how our system of rules and regulations and how our courts work and all that stuff.
The bedrock of our society is that we are a nation of laws, and the jury of your peers is paramount to that.
Yeah, and I love jury movies. I love watching, all the great ones, all the best ones. I love them. But I've been delaying it. I don't know if you knew this, but if you get a notice that you are being called in for jury duty, you can call them and if you do have a valid excuse, which I have now had 3 times in a row.
Okay.
So you can call them and say I'm delaying it. I would like to be considered for a later date, in which they will they'll just write it down on the phone for you there. So
but you only get so many of those. Is that the case?
Yeah. So I've already put it off 3 times, and I called in to try to put it off a 4th time. I'm just a busy guy. Everybody's busy. I'm not extra busy. Just everybody's busy.
Right.
So I called in again. They said, you've actually exceeded. You've reached the end of your limit.
Right.
And so now I have to go in, and I might not be in the show tomorrow because I might be determining somebody's life.
You might be fulfilling your responsibility to our society.
Yeah, as a citizen, and my obligation, I should do it, and I should, and I want to put everything into it.
Yeah.
So that part of me, I'm happy to do it. Yeah. But the other half of me is I wish I could get out of it, and I would love some audience suggestions on how to get out of it.
I'll tell you what hasn't worked for me before.
Have you been on jury duty?
I have been on jury duty, but I was. How's the terminology? I was selected for Wadir. But then they didn't go. They ended up reaching an agreement, a settlement, or whatever.
See, that's the best case scenario.
Yeah, because you get called in and you have fulfilled your obligation.
Mm-hmm.
They are going through. They're about to start the process of Wadiring the witnesses. And then the prosecution and the defense come to an agreement, and they settle out of court, whatever it was.
You sent this clip over. You thought this was...
I think it's one of the classic interpretations. When art imitates life.
Yes. This is Liz Lemon from 30 Rock trying to get out of jury duty. And she's dressed... What is she dressed up as? Princess Leia here.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, Princess Leia.
I don't really think it's fair for me to be in a jury because I can read thoughts.
Dismissed.
And this is New York City.
Excuse me, Imperial Guard. How long do these arson trials typically last?
A couple weeks, probably. You can drop the voice.
Oh, this used to get me out of jury duty in Chicago all the time.
This ain't Chicago, honey. Look at these people.
And she's eventually selected.
I don't really think it's fair for me to be in a jury because I'm a hologram.
You seem fine to me. Report to jury room B.
You know what happened? Yeah, her business.
I don't want to sound like a bad citizen because I don't want to do it.
Right.
But if I'm being completely honest, I would rather
not do it. I tried to tell them once that I was too important to miss work. They laughed. They literally laughed at me. I said, literally, we do a morning radio show. This was on with Bob Rivers.
Sure.
I said, if I'm gone for an extended period of time, our ratings will suffer, and people's livelihoods outside of my own will suffer.
Mm-hmm.
This is a monetary hardship on the company I work for and the people I work with. They didn't buy that.
So that would be, what is that called? Oh yeah, I think it's the hardship.
Yeah, I said, they don't know how long these trials are going to take.
They say objection. You can't say that.
I don't know. We never got to that part.
You never got to that part.
Yeah, I tried to say, look, I'm too important to miss work. And what he's like, are you a surgeon? Are you the only pediatric cranial brain surgeon in the area?
Larry David
does have a helicopter port on the roof of your house, and then shut up and sit down.
You have a surgery. I have to scrub in tomorrow during this, so I just don't know if I can do it. Well, if you guys have any suggestions, I would love your suggestions on how to get out of it. I've actually heard from somebody that if you act like you really, really need to be on that jury, that is a red flag for them.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait.
We're
get a rope.
I've been waiting. I've been waiting for you guys to call me.
A little strung.
Swift justice.
Yeah.
Get them really excited, and I guess could be a red flag. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm sure they've seen everything.
I'm sure
they've seen everything.
And I've never been through the process of Wadire. I mean, it was only been impaneled once, and we got, like I said, sent home early.
Sure.
I would love to be questioned and have the moment of.
Can I send you in my place?
Sure, I'll be Jake Skorheim.
That would be great.
We could do that.
You could go.
That kind of defeats the problem, though. Half the show's gone.
That's true.
Laura?
That's true. But then I don't have to go.
How'd you do at a Beyonce concert at the courthouse tomorrow?
We'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Speaking of travel, holiday travel coming up, Memorial Day weekend. Are you guys planning on traveling for Memorial Day weekend? You going to go off and do stuff?
You know what? No, we're gonna just stay. We just got through the family, the W word.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we're gonna we've been hunkered down at home, turning our phones off, turn the porch lights off. The lovely and truly unpleasant Mrs. and I have just been enjoying solitude.
Listen to this. According to AAA, and I'm going to tell you what the busiest road in Washington State is, because this is actually something you want to try to avoid. I'll get there in a second. According to AAA, 45 million Americans will travel over the holiday weekend. 90% of them will be in the car. Memorial Day weekend is a road trip holiday.
It is.
People take it as a road trip holiday.
Yep.
Here's the busiest road in Washington State. If you plan on traveling between Friday and Saturday, they say this is the road you want to avoid or leave very early or just get ready to sit in traffic. Do you want to take a guess at what the busiest road in Washington State is? Laura, you can play this game too. What do you think the guess is?
God, five seems too easy, right? I mean, five. It's got to be a trick question.
Yeah, it's not 5.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to go. Okay, that's not 5. Then it's 90.
Yeah, it's got to be on 90.
Snoqualmie Pass.
Eastbound 90,
Commuting
right?
on 90.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Commuting on 90.
Yeah.
That is a tough one because you come back through that bottom line. Is that by what's the little tiny town way out there?
Cle Elum, right? Johnstown.
Just past Cle Elum. There's like a
Ellensburg?
No, Ellensburg. I feel like traffic's always flowing pretty good past Ellensburg.
Moses Lake.
Doesn't really.
Like you're talking about like a choke point.
Yeah.
There's a choke point, and I don't know which.
Moses Lake South.
It's probably Snoqualmie. It's probably what I'm thinking of.
Well, it's Snoqualmie. If you know, going
right
up,
by the is it 518 or what's that?
Going up the pass
or 18, right by 18, right there.
Yeah.
That busy spot.
Yeah, that's just past Tisquaw before you get to Snoqualmie.
Yeah,
the Tiger Mountain cutoff there.
Before you get to North
Bend.
Bend.
Yeah, and then it kind of you cruise up the mountain because it's 2 lanes here, and it widens out.
They're doing a ton. Have you driven past there lately?
I haven't.
I was
I
up
haven't
there
been
last
over
week.
in a while.
The entire thing is just like a football field wide now.
Oh, right on.
So they're adding a bunch of lanes. I assume.
Whereabouts?
Right there where you would if you're going to head up to the falls. The Snoqualmie Falls.
Snoqualmie. Oh, okay. Yeah,
so whatever, like right by 18. You know,
yeah.
A lot of traffic. So we'll see what happens.
And it's also 2 lanes when you get out by Cle Elum.
Yeah.
You know, that's where and there's often slowdowns. You know,
you're right. That is a really tough spot.
It is.
Because there's nothing out there.
And any kind of impediment, any kind of road work, any kind of incident to block, it makes it a nightmare. The only thing worse than heading east on 90 on Thursday or Friday.
Coming back on Sunday
or Monday. Because, oh man, we used to not trip to Eastern Washington because of the fear and threat of coming home on a Sunday evening.
Oh, for sure.
If we couldn't take the Monday off and come home on the Monday, we wouldn't go.
Well, we were going to go, and thank God, we decided not to. We were going to go out to the in-laws' house. But to get there, we would have to take the ferry boat.
Yeah.
That would be a mistake on a day like this, especially when everyone's in their cars. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people heading out there. And the weather's also supposed to be pretty nice.
It's pretty nice. Sunday's supposed to be gorgeous. Are your in-laws close enough to the ferry where they could collect you if you walked on?
Yep.
That's the thing. I mean,
that's a pain though, because we're like pushing baby carts.
Oh yeah,
You
guys have a whole circus troupe clucking over the hill. Yeah, 6 of you.
We got like 3 trailers we're pulling behind us just with baby stuff. It's ridiculous. Can I real fast before we get on break here, and then next segment, actually, I'm going to share a story with you. We were talking about this the other day, and I thought this would be a fun opportunity to share the story with you. I had a dream vehicle that I achieved in getting when I was in my early 20s. I no longer have that vehicle for a very weird reason.
Oh.
And it's a bizarre story, and I wanted to share it with you because it's a cautionary tale that I want to share for other people.
So we're talking about like first cars and stuff, right?
This is like dream cars.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It's a dream car scenario that I ended up getting when I must have been 24 years old when I got this thing. It was phenomenal. My standards were kind of low, so it wasn't like a Lamborghini or anything.
A nap dream, not a big deep sleep dream.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. But I have pictures. So I found pictures of this. I'll tell you the vehicle next when we come back. But I have pictures of it, the whole process, because I've worked on it. I fixed it up, all these different things.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Okay, yeah.
The way I don't have it anymore, though, is still blows my mind, and it depresses me, and I have PTSD from it. So I'll tell you that story next. But the cool thing about it is I found pictures of it, and it was just like kind of a fun excuse to look back at old pictures of my old sweet vehicle.
Yeah.
So we're going to share those. If you're not watching the YouTube, after the break, tune in, go to youtube.com and search KIRO News Radio, and then we're going to pop up. You click on the KIRO News Radio thing, and then we're going to pop up.
Yeah.
And then we will be able to share with you live as we're talking. We'll have a slideshow.
Of your dream
memories.
Vehicle. Yeah, of you and your dream vehicle.
Of me and my dream vehicle. And I'll tell you how
strapping younger Jake.
Strapping younger Jake.
Nice.
Yeah. looking ridiculous.
And if we understand some of you can't, drop everything like the controls over at the SeaTac flight control tower.
Sure.
And watch the show on YouTube, but it'll be there anytime you want it. We post the whole show.
After the fact.
Right? The
People
whole
are
show's
loving
waiting for you there.
Yeah. It's a great time. Great time. Okay. So come back for that. We're going to share those next. I'm going to be very sad doing it. Comically.
Really? Oh, is it melancholy, the looking back?
Oh, it's melancholy.
Oh, buddy.
I don't know if it's melancholy. It's pure depression.
Well, I can't wait.
And it's anger.
Oh.
And it's
this is how you lost the car?
Frustration.
Oh.
That's how I lost this car. And it makes me feel like it. Well, I'll tell you next. So stick around. We'll be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino.
KIRO News Radio, winners of 3 2025 Regional Edward R. Murrow Awards, including Overall Excellence.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey live in Linwood.
A bunch of tall trees in a wooded area just off of Alderwood Mall Parkway.
And we thank you.
We are the Northwest leading news station because of you, inspiring us every day to deliver the local news and stories you care about.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM.
Homeowners, protect your biggest investment now with Integrity Roofing and Construction. Hi, Spike O'Neill here. Get ahead of the summer rush. Integrity, your family-owned, award-winning roofing and construction company, is ready to give your home the protection it deserves. Integrity offers a complete in-house construction division and design division for all your projects. Integrity Roofing is known for top-notch service and an on-site project management that makes every process easy. Beat the summer rush and call Integrity today for a free estimate at 206-202-ROOF. That's 206-202-ROOF or online at integrityrc.com. integrityrc.com.
Tune in to The Money Professor with Chris Longworth.
Having some certainty about your plan is definitely going to give you all the advantages.
Chris has the heart of an educator.
If you really want to do this correctly, then you get to enjoy every day of retirement like it's a Saturday. And if you don't, it's a Monday for the rest of your life.
Tune in to The Money Professor with Chris Longworth, Saturdays at 8 a.m. right here on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Summer is on everyone's mind, and many of us ladies, well, you men too, would like to get rid of that extra stubborn fat and address those areas of loose skin like around the waistline, chin, and upper arms. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat freezing methods, even those new pills, but without getting the results you were hoping for. Introducing ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. ProSculpt is minimally invasive, performed while you're fully awake, and it's gentle yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate and permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation, and for a limited time, get $250 off. Feel confident this summer with instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening that works for women and men too. ProSculpt.com.
Hi, it's John Curley. Longevity Medical Clinic has been helping people live longer, healthier lives for more than 25 years. I've recently talked with Dr. Mixon about his approach to proactively focusing on prevention. Dr. Mixon, I first met you in 2009, and I went in there and I told you I wasn't feeling well, couldn't gain any muscle mass, couldn't sleep well, I was stressed out, and you looked at me and you said, yeah, I know what your problem is.
And all we did was we measured your values and we moved your values back to those of a nice, healthy 25-year-old man.
I have taken your blood work to my doctor, and he was shocked. He couldn't believe the depth in which you study my blood.
We need to draw a distinction between living a long time and getting old. And that's what longevity is all about, is we are here to do the measurements and help you fix those problems.
So get your free health analysis. Go to longevitymedicalclinic.com. That's longevitymedicalclinic.com.
Hi, I'm Keith Dashafee, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. We're celebrating 100 years of Pella excellence with an offer as strong as our legacy. Get $100 off every window, $100 off every door, and enjoy 100 days with no interest and no payments. It's our way of saying thank you for letting us be a part of your homes for a century. Visit PellaPNW.com to schedule your free consultation today. Pella, 100 years strong.
The first Mariners Fireworks Night is coming up, and we're starting things off with a bang. Be here on Friday, May 30th for our K-Pop Fireworks Show, presented by T-Mobile, after the team takes on the Twins at 7:10.
Jorge Polanco, his second home run of the night. He is absolutely on fire.
Get ready for an epic dance party as we light up the sky with a post-game show powered by the biggest global hits. Fireworks and Mariners baseball. That's two spectacular shows in one unforgettable night.
JP with a flip, and they got him at first base. How in the world?
Visit Mariners.com/fireworks to get your tickets and see the complete lineup of all 6 Mariners Fireworks Nights this summer, including a sing-along show on June 13th and a patriotic palooza on July 3rd. Plus, check out everything else on deck at T-Mobile Park, like 3 straight Mariners value games against the Orioles starting Tuesday, June 3rd. Mariners baseball. Try dance up.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Come in, have fun. Muckleshoot.
My wife and I have been married for over 15 years, and I've never had any complaints about my performance in the bedroom. But after I turned 40, things started feeling different. I was gaining weight, losing muscle, and I just wasn't interested in sex anymore. My wife told me her friend's husband went through the same thing, and it turns out he had low testosterone. So we booked a free T-check at Revive Health, and that's when I learned that my testosterone levels were low too. We worked with a provider to create a custom treatment plan, and today, my wife and I are having more fun than we did on our honeymoon. My only regret is not reaching out sooner.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com or call 206-529-1111. Again, that's 206-529-1111.
High schools committed to improving their students' health and performance are invited to apply for Nourishing Champions grants, up to $20,000 made possible by Champions of Change and Safeway. Visit championsofchangefoundation.org/nourishing champions.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Heather Bosch. A U.S. Air Force veteran from Washington State is coming back home after he was wrongly detained in Venezuela for months. The family of Joseph St. Clair tells KTTH their prayers have been answered, and they thank the Trump administration for intervening. Joseph first went missing last November when he was living in Colombia and seeking treatment for PTSD after he completed 4 tours in Afghanistan. An Olympia family is demanding answers after Customs and Border Protection detained a man who has a green card. KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman has more.
For Crystal Londonio,
he gives me strength and purpose.
Her whole world has been turned upside down. Max, her husband of more than 20 years and father of their 3 children, was detained by Customs and Border Protection at SCA last week after he and his family returned back from a vacation to the Philippines. His family claims he was taken into custody over a nonviolent offense that was settled years ago.
His wife fears he'll be moved to the Northwest ICE Detention Center in Tacoma. President Trump is in the nation's capital urging Republicans to finish up what he's calling his big, beautiful budget bill. Trump insists no one who legitimately receives Medicaid benefits will lose them under that bill.
Waste, fraud, abuse. Other than that, we're leaving it.
But Congress is poised to cut hundreds of billions of dollars from Medicaid. Washington Congresswoman Kim Schreier, a pediatrician, tells KIRO News Radio.
They're saying, no, they're not kicking anybody off. But the reality is that you just don't get that kind of savings without kicking a lot of people off.
The FDA says annual COVID-19 shots will no longer be routinely approved for healthy younger adults and children. And CBS's Alexander Tin reports.
The agency says it is now requiring new studies before approving broader use of any of the updated shots in people under 65 years old who do not have an underlying condition like obesity or pregnancy.
Sesame Street has a new home at Netflix.
Sunny day.
The children's show's 56th season will air later this year. The nonprofit behind the show says the new season will see changes, but will keep favorite segments like Elmo's World and Cookie Monster's Foodie Truck. Cookie! What he said. On Wall Street, the Dow down 183 points, NASDAQ off 107. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk in Fife, there is debris on I-5 southbound near 70th Avenue East. That seems to be what's causing your backup from the Interurban Trail Parking Center up to Stone Creek. Travel time Federal Way to Tacoma, 10 minutes, just a slight delay there. In Tumwater on I-5, WashDOT wrapped up its pothole repair on southbound I-5 near Maytown early today. Traffic brought to you by ProSculpt, the one-day permanent fat loss and skin tightening solution for men and women, offered by New Skin and Med Spa in Bellevue. ProSculpt.com. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly cloudy skies today with highs around 60. It's 57 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. Fair warning for the listening audience. If you guys are not enjoying our live stream or you are not participating on the YouTube page, this is definitely a segment where you're not going to be harmed by just listening to it, but it will be enhanced because we are talking about a vehicle that I used to own and kind of lost in a ridiculous way.
Okay.
And I found some pictures. I was going through these pictures last night on my phone. These are like 15-year-old pictures I found. And so I was like, oh, this would be really fun because we have this new YouTube page now where we can share things with people as we're talking about it. And so this is a fun thing. And we'll get into those in just a second. But I need to provide a little backstory to this. My family, my entire life, is a VW family. We love VWs. We love Volkswagens. Can't get enough of them. My parents, there's this iconic picture. We think it's iconic. It's iconic in our family because they look young. When my parents were very young, there's a picture of them. They look just beautiful and just timeless and ageless.
Yeah.
They're probably 20 years old.
Oh, prime of their lives.
They're leaning, and they had just gotten married. My parents got married at 19 and 20. They've been married 50-something years now. God bless them. They're leaning on the hood, and they live in Southern California, so they're both tan, and they just look great. What happened? No, just kidding. They still look great. They still look great.
You said you're going to see them this weekend.
Yeah.
They're great. Good luck with that.
No, they're still great. They're very attractive older people. But they're leaning against the hood of this Volkswagen Bug. And it's just this beautiful, and again, this is in the late 60s, early 70s when that was like just a prime vehicle.
Sure.
You're also a VW guy, am I right?
I own two.
What do you have?
I got a 66 Beetle.
What color?
The family seafoam green.
Sweet.
My wife's uncle bought it new. It's been in the family the entire time.
Oh, that's a treasure.
I'm restoring it, completely restoring it.
My sister had a seafoam green Volkswagen Beetle. I think it might have been like a 70 though.
Yeah, it's a beautiful little classic car.
Beautiful car.
Yep.
Super nice. What's your other VW? You got like
the beater, the Jetta. The one that I taught both my kids to drive in.
Oh, well, that's got...
So it's not a straight piece of metal on this car.
No, but that's emotion.
Yeah.
You're driving around in emotions.
Yeah.
That's what makes a dream car.
Yep. You're so connected to this thing.
You have
It's like, why you keep that thing?
So my parents have this VW Bug, and then they go through a series of like VW microbuses. You remember the microbuses?
Oh, sure, of course, yeah. They're wonderfuls.
By the time they get to us kids... My dad had a fastback. Do you remember the fastbacks?
Was it like,
fastback?
Like a Scirocco, one of those?
No, it looks like.
Rabbit?
Do you remember the hatchbacks?
Yeah. But they came on a lot of different models, right?
They had a lot of different models.
I'm not the VW aficionado as your families are.
So it's just a beautiful car, and it was like beach ball red with white leather interior, and it was so wonderful. And my dad never drove it. It basically just like sat in our backyard. It was like an extra vehicle that he almost never drove. So when I was a kid, I used to go into the car. Because it was parked behind a fence. It literally couldn't move. I don't even know if the battery was hooked up. Probably wasn't. So I'd go in there and I'd just pretend to drive for hours. It was like my favorite thing in the world to do. And everybody does this when they're kids. Everybody has this experience. So my family also had, for their daily drivers, my mom drove a Volkswagen Vanagon for many years, dropped me and off to school and picked me and my brothers up and my sister in a VW Vanagon. Which then, as time went on, they then got the Eurovan, which was cool, and then we had a couple of Eurovans. And by that time, I was like out of the house, and so it was kind of I was no longer connected to my family's experience with Volkswagens. Now I was going to have my own. So I'm just about to get married. It's 2000. Let's see, this would have been 2010. I'm engaged now to my now wife, and
glad it worked out.
Glad it worked out. Yeah. And we're getting married the following summer. And so I'm like, what I really want to do? I really want to get this. We're going to go have some adventures in life. I'm starting my own family. And my family wasn't going to be complete until I had a Volkswagen in it.
That's how you were raised.
That's how I was raised.
You're a Volkswagen family.
So I'm looking around, I'm on Craigslist, and there's a guy I'm trying to remember where he was at. It was out, where's all those awful stories about people and animals? You know what I mean?
The Enumclaw.
It was an
Enumclaw.
No, it was Enumclaw. It was Enumclaw. And he was a horse doctor.
Okay.
And so he would travel around and he would do whatever you do to doctor horses.
Sure,
I don't know.
Whatever they need.
Yeah. And so he drove this. He had this old, and he was a single owner of this thing.
Okay.
And it was a Volkswagen Vanagon. I believe it was a 1983. It could have been a 1985, but I think it was a 1983.
Forever. Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Actually, not I'm saying it. I think it was a 1985. It was a Volkswagen Transport, so it didn't have the middle seat. It just had the back seat. The middle seat had been taken out, but it had this
you get the horse in.
You could get
Makes
the horse
sense,
in.
right?
Yeah, or maybe a mini horse. I don't know. But so he would take all his equipment, saddles or something. I don't know what he's doing. And he's going out to fix these horses, as a doctor would. But he's driving around for years, driving in this old Vanagon that he had owned from day one. And so he's selling it for $1,200 on offer on Craigslist.
Wow.
Just a nice old guy. Okay, now this is where we're going to start getting into some pictures. This is me in the van. You see that thing?
Look at this kid. Look at this.
Look at that. The whole future in front of him. Look at that young face. That is a beautiful van. All right, don't shift through these too quick.
Yeah.
That's actually his workshop right there. That's the night I bought this thing. The night I fell in love.
Oh, look at this.
With my van.
Your first night together, you and the Vanagon.
My first night. And we went all the way back to my house. It was beautiful. And you know what? And it wasn't it's not perfect. And obviously it's old. Even at that point, that was already a, 17-year-old vehicle.
Wow.
No, a 25-year-old vehicle at that point.
Timeless. He says, it's only got a back seat. You're like, that's all we'll need.
That's all I need for friends to drive in. So I buy the thing. He's asking $1,200. And you know me, I like to negotiate.
That seems insanely low to me.
It's insanely low.
Okay.
And so I look at him and I said,
bring him down from that?
I said, would
You're
you
a
take
monster.
I said, would you take $1,000? And I'm there with cash.
Sure.
I said, money talks. Would you take $1,000? And he goes, he kind of laughs, and he's a nice old guy. And he's just an old, nice guy. He didn't need the money.
Right.
Obviously, very successful horse doctor. And so he goes $1,100. And I said, great. So I peel off the $100.
Look at
I hand it to him.
Negotiating.
My wife and she's behind the screen here. She's not pictured here, but she could just see how excited I am.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm glowing.
Yeah.
My parents,
Turn the flash off on the camera, honey. I'm glowing.
Exactly.
You don't need it.
I call my parents up and said, I got it, man. I'm so excited.
Great.
So they met me actually out. I'm driving back from Enumclaw. It's like 9:30 at night. My parents meet me at like a Starbucks in Kirkland or something. And I'm showing them this thing. I'm so excited. So then as we move forward in the pictures here, I start to have some fun with the van. I'm taking it camping. As you can see, I cleaned it up and I put new wheels and all the kind of stuff that you do.
That's what you do.
Very basic stuff. But again, it's the emotional connection that I have to this thing. And I love it. And I don't have any kids yet, so I can put the time into it. I tore out the inside. I put a new floor in it because it had some rust.
Okay.
I put a new floor in it. I put some new carpet. The seats were...
You did this yourself?
I did it myself.
I had no idea you were so handy.
I'm pretty handy. The seats were like in pristine condition because you don't have a horse in there.
Right.
And he's
it's
just
not a
using
birthing center. You know,
exactly.
Put your hoofs up in the stirrups, get the foal out, boom. Hose it out when you're done.
Hose it out.
Fabulous.
Totally good to go. So this is me. This is us. I think that's at Fort Casey. Maybe you're looking at that picture. Let's move to the next one here. This is me just
look
cool.
at this. Look at you leaning the
cool
styling.
Guy posing in front of
this
this
an
thing.
ad?
Yeah, it's an ad for
it's you.
Old vans.
Man about town.
All right. So I drive this thing for a good chunk of time, and we do everything in this thing that you do in your dream vehicles.
That's perfect. That's exactly what you wanted.
Without doing any maintenance to it, without even taking it into a mechanic, I drove it to Montana
for $1,100. For $1,100?
Yeah, which is like that's a high state.
That's nuts.
Did great. Okay, so when we come back, I'm going to tell you the awful thing that happened to me in this van that haunts me to this day. And it makes me sick. I don't even like looking. Oh, look at those.
I know you got those 2 scooters in there?
You see those scooters? Before my wife and I had kids, we bought these scooters. I was on Craigslist a lot. See, I put curtains into it. It's
a
pretty
holiday
sweet.
road moment.
So we bought these scooters. Somebody's selling them on Craigslist. They were like $500 for the pair. We thought they'd be fun.
This guy was a cow doctor.
Yeah. No, but we bought so we could fit them inside. So when we went on road trips, it was amazing. It was a dream machine, and I was living my dream. but it's about to become a nightmare.
Oh, buddy.
And I'll tell you about it when we come back.
You should just stop now.
I should stop now, but I can't because it's in my head, and I have to get it in your head, too.
Okay.
And it's a cautionary tale for everyone out there.
Okay, that's great. That's value.
All right, stick around. We'll be right back.
The John Curley Show.
They call him Reggie Smiley Wilson. How many years did you drive a Metro bus?
36 years.
You were the guy that had a smile sign. When people came on, you say smile, you do jokes.
That bus is reality. And everybody needs to know that, hey, man, my reality is no different from yours because I got to eat, I got to sleep, and I got to work. And I think we all want to do it a better way.
Watch the John Curley Show live on YouTube, weekdays 3 to 7, and download the KIRO Newsradio app.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Styling. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
And 62225. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s. And less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
Attention passengers, we've reached 10,000 feet and internet is now available for purchase.
I just paid hundreds for this flight and you can't even throw in internet? I'll just take the free pretzels.
Sorry, but I do have snack boxes for sale.
I'm just gonna sleep.
In that case, we are selling pillows and blankets as well.
I'll just breathe. That's free, right?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
Why is K2 Vision RLE a permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers?
How is it that you'll never develop a cataract after K2 Vision RLE? And how is RLE different from LASIK?
Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. We'll answer those questions and others when you join us for our free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Andy, what are some of the other questions you hear?
Well, how long is the procedure and recovery? Or who's a good candidate for RLE?
And we'll also answer, how much does RLE cost? Is there financing available? Does insurance pay for RLE?
Find out how K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers.
And cataracts too.
Right, no more cataracts.
K2 Vision's free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Space will be limited, so register now at k2visionrle.com.
Join us at our free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Sign up at k2visionrle.com.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn. N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
Need a new roof but not in the budget? A new roof doesn't have to break the bank. Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Right now, State Roofing and Exteriors is offering 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's 2 years with no payments while getting the protection your home deserves. But this offer won't last forever. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to get on our summer schedule now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
All right, welcome back to the show. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I've gotten myself into a funk now because I'm thinking about my dream vehicle that I had. It's like I had it. You know what I mean? I had achieved what I wanted.
I hear you.
My dream was to have a Volkswagen Vanagon, and I had it. I was living that life. That van experienced life, and tragedy struck.
Yeah, if anybody just joined us, welcome. But Jake picked up his dream vehicle. It was a mid-'90s.
No, it's a 1985 Volkswagen
Transport, and you cleaned it up. It was exactly what you wanted. You and your missus were camping in it, traveling in it. Yeah, drove to Montana and back.
Drove to Montana.
It was reliable.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
And you envisioned a long future with this car.
Absolutely.
Right? This was going to be a part of your family's life as you grew and raised your family.
Someday, I imagined, I'd carry my own kids in that car.
Right.
Right? And have the same experiences that my family did when they were tooling me around in that vehicle.
Yes.
If anybody wants to see pictures of this right now, we have them posted on the, you can actually tune in the YouTube right now. YouTube, search KIRO Newsradio, and Jake and Spike Live will pop up for you there. Let's cycle through these pictures one more time as I tell you what happened.
So
here's what happened.
Was it a sudden thing?
It's an older van.
Okay,
obviously.
okay.
No, and the engine had some miles on it. I knew that when we bought the thing. Look at that beautiful,
incredible price.
Look at the happy face on that van again. Look at that. How can you not look at that and smile? It's like just seeing a smiling baby. Just every day you look at it, it's just a smiling baby looking at you.
It really does have a baby face.
Beckoning you to just enjoy life.
Come away with me, Jake.
Here's the other great thing about a van. You can't go fast in it. You cannot go fast in it.
Nope, can't make. Nope, you're right.
It's slow.
Can't be responsible.
You roll the windows down, and then that noise. There's a very specific noise because the engine's in the rear of these things.
Yeah.
Like really loud.
I know Volkswagen engine well.
You know the sound.
Yep.
And it's just lulling you into a happy, like, wonderful life. So I'm driving it, and white smoke shoots out the tailpipe.
Oh, okay.
Which, if anybody knows engines, is not a good sign. Very bad sign. Very, very bad sign.
Burning oil. That's what that is.
Well, something had happened.
Yeah.
I'm not a super engine guy. I did a lot of the cosmetic interior stuff. I can turn a wrench on an engine, but I don't know how to.
I'm not the guy either.
I can't replace an engine, but look at that beautiful thing. And look at that smiling, happy face. That's not the face I had the night that this thing broke down on me on the side of the road. It's like a family member who you find out has a horrible disease or like an animal that you love. Ironically, it's like if I had a show pony who broke its horse.
Oh, broke its leg.
You know what I mean? Because the guy who owned this was a horse doctor.
That would have, yeah.
Because you got to put those down. So this thing breaks down. I have it towed back to my house, or I have it towed to a shop, and I say, what are my options? And the guy goes, well, if it's a total engine failure, then you're going to have you could do an engine swap. The cool thing about these old V-dubs, and you can take this off the screen, Lawrence, depressing me. You can put me and Spike back on. The cool thing about these old V-dubs is the compartment that the engine fits in is a almost identical fit for a Subaru swap. You see a lot of these people do these Subi swaps.
Oh, really?
Which is really cool. Okay. Because then you get, a lot of times, you get like a much more horsepower into the engine. So you can have like these like very fast Volkswagens who have these sleeper engines.
Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking. I was like, all right, it'd be a little bit of an investment of some capital. But again, I'm about to get married, so I'm saving up money, all these different things. So the guy tells me, he goes, it's going to be $5,000 to do this engine swap. Now, I paid $1,100 for this thing.
Yeah.
So now I'm doing like a cost-benefit analysis. And I'm about to marry a woman who's like very financially literate. And she goes, is it really worth it to you to spend 5 times the amount that you paid for the vehicle to put a new engine in? And I said, but dreams. And she said, but wedding.
But dreams. Yeah. But wedding. Bigger dream.
Yeah, bigger dreams.
My dream.
And she
Our dream.
She goes, is this really going to be like, are you going to hold on to this for the rest of your life? Is it really going to be safe for kids? It's like 1985 technology, all these different things. She just didn't understand, whatever. But she got it a little bit. Yeah.
She said, that's the perfect couple, though.
It was
the dreamer and the
exactly.
pragmatic realist.
Yes.
You guys have got a great future.
And I'm a dreamer. And so I said, she goes, if it's really worth it to you, I want you to do it because I don't want you to regret not doing it.
Oh. So you put the new engine in and it's in your garage today, right?
Well, no, Spike, that's not what happened. Here's what happened.
Okay.
I couldn't just get rid of it. And so I went and parked it at my parents' house for 2 years. And I would often go and visit it. Ironically, as a child, I would go and sit behind the wheel, not a joke, and I would just pretend I was driving it.
Oh.
And at some point...
Make the old vroom vroom sounds.
I would go... And at some point, I decided that it was time for this thing to go.
Time to go, yeah.
And so...
On the way
well,
at that point?
I donated the vehicle.
Oh.
I donated it. The story's about to get tragic. I donate the vehicle.
Uh-huh.
A year goes by.
Okay.
I get a phone call. I pick up the phone. I don't recognize the number. It's from North Carolina. I don't know anybody in North Carolina. Pull this music down a tiny bit because I got to finish this story. I don't know anybody in North Carolina. I pick up and the guy goes, hey, is this Jake? I said, yes. He goes, hey, my name is so-and-so. I live in North Carolina. I bought your van at auction. I said, no way.
Oh.
It has a second life.
Right.
I'm all excited because it's got a second life. And I said, what's going on? Like, amazing. Yeah. I can't believe you got it.
This is great.
I said, how much you pay for it? Just out of curiosity. He goes, I paid $8,000 for it. I said, whoa, that's like a lot of money I donated. And I said, did you do the Subi swap? What did you do to get it running? He goes, what do you mean? I said, what, to get the van running? What do you mean? What did you do to get the engine running? And he goes, nothing. I mean, the only thing that was wrong with it was the gas gauge was broken.
So you got scammed. Somebody told you it was...
Gas gauge broken, which means I had a perfectly functioning, good van that I gave away because I didn't put gas in it.
After 2 years,
Isn't that insane? He's still driving around. He's living my dreams in North Carolina.
And they didn't do any engine swap or nothing?
Nothing. Nothing. He said, it's great. It's the best van I've ever owned.
Who's the mechanic that told you? Is he still around?
Somebody who's going to rot in hell.
Is he still around?
No, I'm not going to say his
today.
name.
Let's go there today.
No, I'm not going to say his name.
Come on, he's a dream killer.
Gas tank empty.
Oh my, no way, you can't be that stupid. I'm sorry.
No, I was.
Buddy, I was so sorry. That was horrible.
It's okay.
A horrible thing for me to say.
No, it's okay. And I love that van, and I'll always love that van.
I found a 91 van right now, camper available.
I might take it.
Low miles, good price.
I don't know. We'll see.
Time to rekindle the dream.
I hear they run out of gas quickly. All right, we got a lot more coming up.
Kids.
We got a lot more coming up. We'll be right back.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
So I formed Davis Law Group about 30 years ago, and I would get, the same questions from people about what to do in the case of an accident. Do you need a lawyer? To the point where I decided that I would at least write a book which would answer the common questions that I would receive as a lawyer. Once I wrote my first book, it proved to be hugely popular. I decided to write then a series of books in different accident cases so that we could really teach people about their rights, how to protect them, and how to decide on whether they need a lawyer and what lawyer to hire. I've found in my career that having a client that is educated and knowledgeable about their particular type of case really helps the client and also usually ends up making the case or the claim more successful. To get your free copy of any of my Washington accident books, visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
This could be the oddest gift anyone's ever given me.
But I'll bet you use it.
When the time is right, I suppose.
That's the idea.
A plunger.
An Apollo plumbing plunger.
Free for me?
Actually, free to everyone we visit.
Because?
We believe some things you can do on your own.
And if this plunger can't fix it?
Apollo Plumbing will.
Just like that.
You call, we come. It's fixed.
Wouldn't you rather I just call?
You're welcome to.
Okay.
But for a simple backup?
Something I can solve myself?
Try your free plunger.
I'll admit it's kind of spiffy.
Apply a little pressure.
And if it still won't clear?
Call Apollo Plumbing.
The Ready Right Now plumbers.
Our big blue trucks come stocked full of fixes.
And a plunger wielding plumber.
A clean screen trained and trustworthy Apollo plumber.
They come in a jiffy?
Arriving when promised to put plumbing problems in your past.
And give me a free plunger.
That too.
I kind of like this plunger.
I'm sure it'll come in handy.
Just like Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Join in on the conversation by sending a text to 888-973-5476. That's 888-973-KIRO.
At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we offer premium windows that are 25% more energy efficient, reduce noise by 50%, and come with clean glass technology. And Leak Armor installation gives you a lifetime warranty to protect your home. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Lake Washington Windows and Doors makes it easy to enjoy new windows with clean glass technology now and defer paying for them until 2026 with zero down, zero payments, and zero interest for 12 months. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
With Amazon Business, smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. There's a change coming to the way COVID shots are recommended or not. Sabrina Cupid reports.
The FDA saying that it will limit access to COVID-19 vaccines going forward for people 65 years old or older and those who are at high risk of becoming seriously ill if they are infected. The agency also going to require manufacturers to conduct clinical trials to show the efficacy of the vaccines in healthy younger adults and children. A group of vaccine experts that advises the CDC on vaccine recommendations is scheduled to meet in late June.
Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and his appointees continue to scrutinize the use of vaccines for a number of diseases. President Trump was on Capitol Hill today pushing fellow Republicans to back his budget plan. Nancy Cordes reports.
He has to strike while the iron is hot. This bill has now passed out of committee, which means that it is time for the House Republicans to try to get it passed there so they can get it to the Senate.
Federal prosecutors have formally charged a Democratic representative, LaMonica McIver of New Jersey, with attempting to block the arrest of Newark's mayor at an immigration detention facility. Jake Rosen is following the case.
They accuse her of slamming her forearm into the body of the officer, forcibly grabbing him, and then pushing a separate ICE officer. McIver says that the charges are purely political and mischaracterize her actions, and that she looks forward to the truth being laid out clearly in front of court. There will be an appearance that she'll be forced to make, including a mugshot and fingerprinting sometime soon now that the charges have officially been filed.
There is more severe weather in the forecast for Tennessee and Kentucky. Kentucky's governor has just toured areas already hard hit by storms, and he wants them evacuated.
It is simply unsafe
to be around that much debris with this level of wind.
Nicole Scanga reports there are concerns about federal assistance.
The Disaster Relief Agency right now has a $5 billion deficit in its disaster relief fund. That request for Congress to sort of resupply that fund has not yet come through.
Jill Schlesinger reports there's been an uptick in the number of people filing for early Social Security benefits.
According to the research group Urban Institute, there is a 13% increase for retirees claiming their Social Security benefits early. There's been so much confusion around DOGE cuts that many Social Security recipients or those that were due to receive their benefits may have felt anxious for waiting until their full retirement age.
On Wall Street at the closing bell, the Dow Jones Industrials were down 114 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Cold case detectives digging for answers in Tacoma. The story coming up, but first from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. In Fife, the debris has been cleared from I-5 southbound near 70th Avenue East, and your backup is cleared. Travel time Federal Way to Tacoma, 11 minutes. Still just a slight delay there. In Seattle, fire crews are blocking South Jackson Street at 2nd Avenue. Give them room. And pothole repair is wrapped up early in Tumwater on I-5 at Maytown. Traffic brought to you by Beacon Plumbing. For all your heating, electrical, septic, and mechanical needs, stop freaking, call Beacon. Good afternoon, I'm Heather Bosch.
News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Cold case detectives continue digging in the backyard of a Tacoma home. Neighbors are wondering if this is linked to the disappearance of 2-year-old Tika Lewis from a nearby bowling alley. But KIRO News Radio's James Lynch reports
there are 147 cold cases in Tacoma dating back to 1936. Here's Shelby Boyd with Tacoma Police.
Officers, detectives worked into the night. They went home, got some rest. They came back this morning. So yeah, it's a tip in a cold case. Someone died.
Boyd would not comment on where they got the tip that brought them here or which case it involves. In Tacoma, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
And James will have more on this coming up with Jake and Spike. Seattle police are investigating a shooting this morning that happened just blocks away from a triple killing in Pioneer Square Saturday. Medics who were treating someone who'd been pepper sprayed say they saw a 26-year-old shoot a 44-year-old man in the chest. The victim was transported to Harborview in serious condition, and the suspect was arrested. Family and friends of one of the 3 victims of Saturday's deadly shooting returned to the site where it happened. They described 19-year-old Kaylani Harris to KIRO 7 TV.
Uncontrollable laughter. I was able to tell her anything at any time.
I will miss her really much.
I just want my baby here.
They say she was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. The shooter in that case still on the loose. Bellevue police are sending a warning for residents to be stranger aware. Jewelry thieves may be on the prowl. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports they often prey on victims in the middle of the day.
Police say it usually starts with 2 or more suspects pulling up in a car and starting up a conversation. At some point, their questions, though, turn into stealing a purse, jewelry, whatever they can. And spokesperson Drew Anderson says this is who those thieves typically target.
More on the older side, more on the side of folks where English isn't their native language that they use.
Police say there was a wave of similar crimes last year. Always call police if you feel you're being targeted. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Last night's Mariners win against the White Sox in Chicago featured a beautiful hit by Julio Rodriguez in the 8th inning with the bases loaded.
Swinging a well-hit ball deep to left field. Slater going back, and this one is gone. Goodbye, baseball.
Mariners win it 5-1. Game 2 in Chicago this afternoon. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly cloudy skies today with highs around 60. It's 57 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News. It's the all-new Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio.
Welcome back to the show. Thank you so much for listening and hanging out with us today. You might be listening on the radio. You might be listening or watching us on YouTube, which you can now, the Jake and Spike live YouTube show, which you can enjoy. You can also watch it after the fact, which a lot of people do and seem to derive great pleasure from. A lot of stuff to cover this hour. The first story, boy, this is a really sad story. It's also really interesting. I'm really interested in cold cases. Laura, I know you are as well.
I'm such a true crime junkie.
True crime.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing now that people, and I think it's probably just the mystery of it. Why does something go unsolved for so long? Is it just? It's not like the movies where everything just kind of wraps up quickly. This takes, it takes decades and decades sometimes.
And there's no guarantee of a conclusion for these stories. And that's an attraction for a lot of folks. For me, though, that's why I'm not a fan. I like closure. I like a conclusion. I like either happy or sad. I like an ending.
Well, especially in the case where involving children.
Right.
Like the story we're about to talk about. Tika Lewis, back in 1999, she disappeared. Apparently from a bowling alley, which was a short distance from a place where the FBI and local police and everybody are now digging. We don't know if it's actually related to Tika Lewis.
No.
Neighbors seem to think it is. But we have KIRO Newsradio reporter James Lynch joining us now live from the scene. James, thank you so much for making the time.
Absolutely.
James, what's the scene going on there in Tacoma right now, and what has been the response from neighbors?
Well, there's still a cold case team of maybe 6 or 8 people in the backyard of this home at the corner of South Gunnison Street and South Wright Avenue. The mobile command center is here, and neighbors walk by pretty continuously throughout the day. They're trying to figure out what's going on here. Obviously, there's just not a lot of information out there because Tacoma police just aren't releasing much. But they have 147 cold cases in Tacoma, dating back to 1936.
Wow.
So you guys talked about closure, and that's something that this team wants to give families and friends of these people who are missing, but they want to be sensitive about that so they don't give anybody false hope or they don't give anybody any bad hope about what might be happening here. So right now, they're just keeping a clamp on all the information until they have more certainty in this case.
Is that why we don't even know who they're necessarily what they're necessarily digging up? Have they even said that it's guaranteed remains, or are they just not telling anybody anything?
We just don't know. I've seen them. I managed to slip around the far side of the house, and I was able to take some pictures of them under the tent. We've also had some drone pictures up here, but I've seen them sifting through dirt. If you've seen those sifters with a screen bottom and they just kind of crush the dirt down in there and see what's up, I've seen them do that back there. But, they just aren't giving us much information. And I've got a lot of close contacts in Tacoma police. And from top to bottom, they're putting a hold on any and all information that comes out of this location. Now, Interim Chief Patty Jackson, I did see her here early this morning. Their PIO says she wanted to come out and take a look at the scene for herself and talk to the crews that are working out here. I didn't get a chance to talk to her because she exited on the other side of the street. They worked late into last night, then took a break, went home, were able to shower, get something to eat, and then sleep. And then they got back here just a few hours later, early this morning, to pick up that work again.
It's interesting, too, the sifter you're describing, it almost sounds like, every movie that I've seen, again, my only experience in this is, with this type of recovery is watching this in movies.
Right.
But a lot of times those are trying to, get the bones out of the dirt, and it almost looks like an archaeological dig.
Exactly.
Like when you look at the pictures of these,
exactly,
and you have the tents that are covering, I assume, to cover up not only to protect from weather, but probably also to try to keep it, obscured from drone.
It's a privacy issue.
It's a privacy
absolutely.
thing. You don't want to. The other thing that I found, I don't know if you guys found this as well, but when I was looking at these pictures, and you can go to mynorthwest.com right now, and you can see some pictures of the site. The family who lives in the house currently was not there in 1999. Is that right?
That's correct. They're recent owners of the house, and when I say recent, probably in the past 10 years or so. But police make it very clear that they have absolutely nothing to do with this case, and they are being cooperative, allowing them in their backyard to excavate under a sidewalk.
Well, of course, and the crazy thing about this is when you think about, we've all, many of us, even if you're renting or if you're buying, whatever it is, you move into a new home, you don't know what the history of the house is. Yeah. And there are certain things that realtors have to disclose if there's been certain crimes or anything committed in the house. But if you don't know that something has happened, then you're not going to have that disclosed. But I'm looking at these pictures. The pictures were the part that jumped out to me. And it's clearly a backyard that is for kids to play in. There's a trampoline, and there's a trampoline, not only a trampoline, but they got the big sides on it to keep the kids from falling out. Yeah. And you just think about how many hours that those kids spent in that backyard playing and having fun and running around and doing everything. And the parents who are trying to provide a safe, happy place for their children. Yeah. And now you have the FBI digging around in your backyard, presumably for human remains, maybe even a child's remains. And there's just something about that that's really tough to...
How do you go back to your old life in that backyard?
Yeah, let me be clear, though. Now, they've been working on this tip for 2 months. So we haven't seen the FBI out here on scene. Neighbors tell me over the course of the past several weeks that they have seen the FBI out here. Sure. But as they work through this tip, they've also had cadaver dogs out here, and they've also x-rayed the ground in that area where that white tent, like you said, that you can see on mynorthwest.com, where they're excavating. They did have a big excavator out here early yesterday to do the initial digging, and then they've used shovels. I've seen them shoveling under that tent yesterday as well. But we don't know when they might release more information. I would expect that if something comes of this, it will be the subject of a major news conference that would involve the new interim chief.
We're speaking to James Lewis. James, I'm sorry, James. I'm sorry, I got Lewis on the brain. Tika Lewis's mom has been interviewed by local media, but we've not been told anything about what this case may entail. Is that just a proximity issue that because her daughter was lost so long ago in this immediate area? Is there any established connection between this tip and this family's loss?
No, there is not. The only thing is the lead investigator in Tika's cold case is in charge of this process out here. We haven't been able to speak to her. It could be a total coincidence. She could easily have more than one cold case that she's working. So, right. But that's the only thing that tends to lead Tika's mom to think that something happened here. We did talk to her yesterday. We had an interview with her yesterday as well, and she says that she just doesn't know right now. But she does say that the lead investigator did tell her a month and a half or so ago that they were working on a new tip. That's the same tip that brought them to this house. We just don't know where that tip came from.
Gotcha.
or who gave them that tip.
The last weird part that kind of jumped out at me in the story, again, you can check this out at mynorthwest.com and see these pictures. And ironically, the house in 1999 was owned by a family with the surname Lewis. Is that right, James?
It was until 2004, and that may just be a coincidence. Tika's mom said that she's not familiar with this house, she's not familiar with this neighborhood, and she's not familiar with the family. But she does say that this house is really close to that bowling alley where Tika disappeared in 1999. So couple that with the fact that the lead investigator is here, and she believes that perhaps it could be related to her daughter's case.
Wow. All right. Well, James Lynch on the scene down there in Tacoma, thanks so much for watching this, and we'll check back in as you have more.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks, James. Can you guys imagine that? Like, just how wild. Just if you're a family. I mean, just the Lewis family's obviously already gone through hell for years with this. But this new family who lives in this house now, who has to, how do you come back to a house like this?
That's what I'm wondering.
What do you do? Yes. And then how do you...
Or do they own it? Do they rent it? I mean,
I don't know.
We don't know.
If you rent it, it's probably easier for them to get out of. If you sell it, now the house is infamous for having possible human remains buried in the backyard.
If they do indeed find something there, that if there's just an investigation that turned up nothing, I wouldn't tell anybody that. I'd still want to move.
How can you avoid it? It's all over the news.
But not everybody watches the news close as we do. I mean, I don't know, and I'm that's that's so far afield from the topic.
The second if I was looking for a house, I would Google the address.
Yeah.
And of a house I was interested in buying. You get the history of the house, whatever, but other stuff might pop up.
Scene of an investigation?
It's just a bizarre reality for that family. I'm just thinking about like what they're thinking right now. Seems
I was more
surreal.
More drawn in by the story of the mom who's, of course, the reason that the cold case division exists is to provide closure and to solve crimes and maybe prevent criminals that are still at large from committing more crimes. I don't know but having to go through it again.
Oh.
For that long, I mean,
but
you never lose.
But you want the closure. I mean,
if the conclusion and the closure outweighs being re-traumatized by the event being brought up again.
There's
honestly, no good side to this.
Honestly, I would, because I don't even like imagining it. Like I don't even like putting myself in her place. It's so horrible. It's every parent's absolute worst nightmare to have something happen to your child. So
unthinkable.
God bless this woman. That's a tough spot. She actually talked to Fox 13. We have a little bit of audio here. She says she found this out through the media. That's interesting. Oh, here's my audio. Here we go.
I got a phone call today from another media station. I didn't know nothing about this. I didn't even know this was even a thing until today. And they said there was a digging here in Tacoma, and I got swarmed by the media and letting me know what was going on. And I had somebody here that was telling me, at first it was little and then it became huge. They brought in the command post, and that's when it really hit, because all I've ever wanted was closure to my daughter's case. Can this be closure? We don't know. We do know, I do know, this has to do with my daughter.
Well, we'll obviously we'll let you guys know as we know more, and as we get information from Tacoma PD and also the FBI, who's apparently involved as well. Crazy. That's just so sad. And prayers go out to the Lewis family. That's horrible. All right, can we move on to some other stuff that's a little bit lighter, please? Yes. All right, did you see this story? I'm not sure what to make of this, Spike. I need your help of figuring this out. Governor Bob Ferguson signed something into law on Saturday. And I'm going to read to you what the bill is. It's $55.95, and it has to do with how fast you're able to drive on certain streets. And this is going to get people's blood going. If you're feeling like you want to get a little bit confused and angry, this might. And the language is still confusing to me, but listen to this. I read about this. This was from a local NBC
We're in Tri-Cities, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this would be.
It's a statewide law.
It's a statewide law. Yeah.
The story comes from Yakima.
From Yakima. There you go. So SB 5595 signed into law on Saturday. A new law that will allow Washington cities to designate certain non-arterial highways. So some local town is able to designate a non-arterial highway that they decide as a shared street where pedestrians, bicyclists, and vehicles share the same space. And in order to do that, they will then have to put the maximum speed limit on those streets at 10 miles per hour for vehicles.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed my headphones cut out or something. I thought you said 10 miles an hour.
I'm sorry. Let me repeat that.
Yeah.
10 miles per hour.
Hold on, my head.
Are your headsets broken?
They must be, because if you said they're going to reduce the speed to 10 miles an hour. If this road is designated as a shared
street, yeah.
So there'll be dedicated bike lanes, I would think, right? Not just a kid on a bike. Dedicated bike lanes or dedicated pedestrians crosswalks,
and then pedestrian walkways. Or is this like? Do you remember during the pandemic when they shut everything down and they had to figure out other ways for people to sit, and so they did those little sidewalk things?
Okay, yeah.
But they would push sometimes. They would like
parking spaces will be gone for sidewalk cafes,
and then parking space would become seating. I wonder if it's something like that. And so if there's going to be people in the roadway or pedestrians who are allowed to walk free and easy across these roads, then you would then be able to slow the traffic down so that you're going to hopefully avoid any pedestrians being hit by cars because you're opening it up.
In theory, it's great.
Why is it great?
Well,
they have sidewalks for pedestrians. Why don't we walk in the street?
And bike lanes are supposed to be dedicated and they've been protected with barriers in many cases. Not in all cases, but in many cases.
Good luck going 10 miles an hour, even on a bike.
That's my point.
That's
10 miles an hour is, get out and push your car through the street. And don't try to exceed 10 miles an hour.
100%. 10 miles per hour.
Yeah.
My car doesn't idle below 15.
If you put it in drive, if you put it in drive and take your foot off the brake, it's going to beat 10 miles an hour.
Like
you literally got to ride your brakes through these zones.
When you drive through school zones, obviously you want to protect the kids.
Yeah,
obviously.
And those are the 20s.
Those are 20 or 25.
I'll have to look on that. I'll check one of my wife's many tickets.
I think it's 25.
I think it's 25 too, but I'll take
25 is ungodly slow.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to keep your vehicle at 25.
I traveled through one this morning on the way. I was taking my wife to an early doctor's appointment this morning before we came into work and drove through the one that always bites us in our neighborhood.
It's got one of those cameras.
Cameras are moving. Yellow lights are flashing.
Yep.
And this clown passes us and rolls right. I mean, just rolls right through the school zone. And Melissa and I are like, this is great. I'm watching this idiot get it. I know he's getting a ticket.
Did he get one?
Of course he did.
Instant karma.
The lights are flashing. The camera's on. Yeah. It's not like somebody had to see him. The camera doesn't blink.
Yeah.
You're getting and just watching this. How do you not know? How do you not know that the flashing yellow light?
Well, he knows
the big
now.
sign that says 20.
That'll be his lesson learned.
It's coming in the mail.
He's going to get it now.
It was and then we got behind him at the next traffic light.
So
he sat there, and then he's $170, whatever dollars.
And he didn't even know it.
Didn't care. I don't know.
Does he know by now? When was this, yesterday?
It was this morning. It was this morning.
Okay,
he's got a little present coming.
If he's listening right now, though,
hey, buddy,
you might want to look forward to that. No, but 10 miles an hour just seems like I need some clarification on what these shared streets means. They're not going to do this to every street, obviously, but here's what else they're going to do. An annual report must be posted by cities designating shared streets, including data on traffic accidents, speeding violations, and driving under the influence incidents. Well, of course, these numbers are all going to improve. If your cars are going 10 miles an hour, you're not going to have the same accidents, right? You're not going to have them hitting pedestrians.
Sure. And would the pedestrian even know at 10 miles an hour?
They wouldn't even know. Right? The car might get more damage than the pedestrian at 10 miles an hour.
I would like to know. There needs to be more information. We need a bigger media outlet. We need us. We need the news team on this.
You know what? Let's stick a reporter on it. Yeah. Laura, make that happen for us. Get a reporter on this.
On it.
And do they have a stockpile of speed limit 10 miles an hour? Is this from the boating division?
Are you looking at the picture?
Yeah, it's clearly got to be posted.
That must be a walking speed that they have on a trail somewhere. Don't walk more than 10, and they have to tell people that because it's easy to do. Crazy to me. The new shared street designation means certain traffic provisions will not apply, probably like walking in the street, I would imagine. This includes rules for pedestrians walking on roadways. This to me is just them trying to say, hey, let's open up roadways to people.
Yeah.
Roadways were not designed for people, though.
They're not.
So this doesn't make sense to me.
This is what they're doing down at Pike Place Market where they close that road off, right? For pedestrian traffic?
Pike Place Market makes more sense to me because
it's a common tourist area with multiple retail.
It's one-way traffic with horrible parking.
Yeah.
And the benefit of everybody being able to walk around there makes a lot of sense to me.
Okay.
I could see little cities, though, going out of their way to shut down roads because they don't like cars.
Yeah.
And they're just going to turn this into hey, let's all live in a
walking town.
Walking commune.
Right.
I think that's what's going to happen.
Check your car at the city limits. You'll get it back when you leave.
Exactly.
Like that's a gun town. No gun town in the Old West.
That's what's going to happen. You wait. And pretty soon, only the outlaws are going to have cars. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We'll be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Insulation Northwest.
KIRO Newsradio, winners of 3 2025 Regional Edward R. Murrow Awards. Feature reporting, sports reporting, and overall excellence.
And we thank you. We are the Northwest leading news station because of you, inspiring us every day to deliver the local news and stories you care about.
KIRO Newsradio on 97.3 FM.
Watch and listen anywhere by downloading the KIRO Newsradio app and always stay connected at mynorthwest.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. I'm here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn of None Better Tax Resolution. When you're dealing with business owners and the idea that they owe money to the IRS and they feel like they might be letting their staff down, and it just spirals out of control.
One thing I see with businesses, it's really tough because they have employees and maybe they're having a difficult time with the cash flow of the business. Then unfortunately, what a business often does is they quit making their payroll tax deposits, which is really about the worst thing you could be doing. I mean, it's a telltale sign if you're doing that. Hey, get someone that can help you kind of look at your business and see if things can be changed so that you can operate your business better and make those payroll tax deposits. Because let me tell you this, the IRS is on those right away.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, you have to call Greg Nunn of None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
Are you worried about economic conditions, tariffs, and inflation? Are you tired of trying to time the stock market? Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given current market volatility. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years with zero investor losses, averaging double-digit returns since inception, and we also accept IRAs. Over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Feeling uneasy? Don't gamble your hard-earned money or risk your retirement. Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, returning 9%, has limited openings for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Have you heard the saying, chuck in a truck? The guy running a roofing company out of his messy pickup? Well, here's the scary part. Washington doesn't require a test or experience to be a licensed roofer, and they definitely don't require a brick and mortar location. Chuck could be working out of his apartment with 0 employees, hiring random guys off the street. Yikes. And the SBA says 90% of roofers are out of business within 5 years. Jim here, Chief Roof Nerd at RoofSmart, where we do things right. We have a real location on Central Avenue in Kent and a team of 50 full-time roofing pros who actually know what they're doing. We're not some fly-by-night outfit. We've put down roots, or in our case, a cement foundation, so you'll always know where to find us. No disappearing acts, no cut corners, just top-quality work from people you can trust. That's RoofSmart. Come see for yourself, or call us at 206-487-4877, or visit us online at GetRoofSmart.com. That's 206-487-4877 or GetRoofSmart.com.
Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens has given me back clear vision. The process was simple and easy. I scheduled my free consultation and discovered I was at the early stage of cataracts and a perfect candidate for RLE. They restored clarity and brightness to my vision like when I was in my 20s, and I'll never need readers again and never develop cataracts. Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens are taking RLE surgery to the next level. Call them now at 425-451-2020 or go online to sharp-vision.com, official eye care provider of Sounders FC.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Safety first comes with available financing at Bucky's Complete Auto. For oil changes, brakes, tune-ups, wiper blades, and factory maintenance, check the Bucky's near you at Bucky's.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. A U.S. Air Force veteran from Washington is coming back home after he was wrongfully detained in Venezuela for months. The family of Joseph St. Clair says their prayers have been answered. They thank the Trump administration for intervening. Just last week, Joseph's father, Scott St. Clair, spoke to KTTH.
We're getting some traction, we're getting some attention, but it still seems really unclear what the plan is.
Details of the release are still unknown. Joseph first went missing last November when he was living in Colombia, seeking treatment for PTSD after he completed 4 tours in Afghanistan. Family and friends rally for the release of an Olympia man detained by Customs and Border Protection after he returned from a trip to the Philippines last week. The wife of Maximo Londinio tell KIRO 7 TV she is a U.S. citizen. He is a green card holder.
The lack of accountability by the United States Customs and Border Protection is failing him right now. It's failing everybody.
His family fears he may be transferred to an ICE detention center. Customs and Border Protection says it is looking into that case. Now to the closing bell reports. Home prices may have finally peaked after years of growth across most of the U.S. Here's CBS's Jason Brooks.
Redfin reports that home prices dipped 0.1% in April from the previous month, the first month-over-month decline since September 2022. Even with that decline, the average home price of more than $438,000 was up more than 4% from a year earlier.
Here in Seattle, Redfin says month-over-month prices fell about 0.2% in April, but they were up more than 4% year over year. And according to RE/MAX, median home prices in Seattle are nearly $900,000 now. Well, they will be serving up specials and deluxes in Everett next month when the newest Dick's location opens up. It'll be the local burger chain's 10th location when it opens June 12th on Evergreen Highway. Everett Herald reports the restaurant will employ about 50 workers. At the close today on Wall Street, Dow down 114, S&P off 23. That's snapping its 6-day winning streak, and the NASDAQ lost 72 points. Now to the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. This report is brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. And right now, just one issue to report on I-5 northbound, right at the Kent-Des Moines Highway, just north of SR 516. Collision blocking the right 2 lanes, about a 2-mile backup right there, but then it is mainly clear all the way from Tukwila into downtown Seattle. You will see some of those brake lights as you reach the West Seattle Bridge. Right now, Linwood to Seattle, about average for this time of day, about a 30 to 35-minute drive. Bellevue to Renton, a little thick through the construction zone, heavy around the I-90 interchange, but again, the rest of the map in very good shape, nothing major slowing you down. Lake Washington Windows and Doors treats your home like their own with a commitment that has earned over 1,000 reviews with a 4.9-star average rating. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust. The forecast now, it is brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. For today, we are mostly dry, cloudy at times, along with the potential for a couple of light showers. Right now, 57 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. All right, before we get to this really fun, this is actually a funny story. Tukwila Police Department are trolling a would-be car prowler, apparently.
Yes.
We're going to read you their Facebook post in just a second. It's really funny, and it's directed to the car prowler, which they caught on camera, and they wrote some funny stuff. So kudos to them for writing funny stuff and having fun with it. We'll read that in a second. But first, we do a little housekeeping from last segment. We were talking about this Safe Streets thing.
Yes.
Governor Ferguson just
You found
signed
out
into
more?
law. Well, no, we have questions.
Right.
But we also need to decide if he signed a bill saying that cities can designate certain streets into shared spaces, which then allow for certain rules and laws to not apply, like walking across the road if you're a pedestrian, things like that.
Or the restriction of a maximum speed limit.
Maximum speed limit, which they had then lowered to 10 miles per hour. I got an interesting text from my folks who were listening, and they said, does this mean that these cities will ticket vehicles who are going over 10 miles an hour? I assume that would be the case.
Sure.
Would that also apply to bikes who easily would go over 10 miles an hour?
That's a great question. They want the rule. They want the access to the roads.
What about people who are running over 10 miles an hour? Also achievable. I can't imagine they would, realistically, I can't imagine they'd ticket either of the latter two. I can't imagine they'd ever ticket a person or a bike.
Well, without being able to require vehicle registrations and licensing to have access to the streets.
Well, but if you catch them in the act and they're breaking the law, you can still receive a ticket even if you don't have your vehicle registered properly.
Don't I know it?
But like if you're riding a bike and you're going too fast, would they ever give you a ticket?
Can you imagine the shame of having I don't know, maybe be pride.
Of having a ticket on a bike?
Break the speed limit on your bicycle?
Interesting.
Right? Is that a moment of shame or a moment of pride?
Here's something total non sequitur.
If it was 25, it'd be pride. 10, it's kind of
10 is kind of 10 miles an hour.
Well done. Were you pushing your bicycle to have a flat tire?
It's not a complete non sequitur, but listen to this. You know, the first ticket ever issued for a motor vehicle was issued from a police officer riding a horse who pulled over a vehicle who was going like 7 miles an hour or something.
The old Tin Lizzie?
Like an old Model T or some steam job or something. And the cop, they didn't even know how
him on a horse.
The first speeding ticket ever, they didn't even know how to ticket him because it had never been done before. So they put the guy in jail for the night. Isn't that wild?
Some process maybe should think about bringing back.
Maybe they're going to do that here and then city. I think
a night in the hoose cow.
We need some clarification on this.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to ticket vehicles for going 10, clearly they don't want vehicles on these streets because 10 miles an hour is a joke.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a deterrent. Sure, I think it is. Yeah.
So, but for bikes, if you're just easily they'll be going over 10 miles an hour.
Yeah, but bikes don't pose the same threat to public safety that cars do.
They do to pedestrians.
Do you think so?
A bike running into a person? Absolutely.
I think a car can do a lot more damage.
No, not the same, but I would say like
it's a threat.
I would say a car hitting a bike is at 10.
I mean a bike hitting a pedestrian and a car hitting a pedestrian is what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah, obviously a car is always going to do more damage than a bike.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know how big the bike
car
is.
Hitting a bike.
Probably some fat bikers out there.
Get fast enough, you can take out a bike too. Sure.
But the bikers who hit pedestrians, that's very dangerous as well.
It's very dangerous. I've seen some video of some horrific bicycle pedestrian interaction.
You got to ticket the bikers.
I think you do.
I think you have to.
I think you do.
I think we're an equal opportunity society. I think you need to be ticketing these bikers. And I will say, it's going to sound a little crazy, I think you should also be ticketing those really like ambitious, fast walkers out there. We're going over 10 miles an hour.
I don't think anybody could walk 10 miles an hour.
Could they run it?
Yeah.
Well, then those people need a ticket. Yeah. You see somebody out there going 11? You watch them with the thing?
The gun. You got the speed gun out.
Speed gun pointed at him. You go, oh, that person's going. And then you stop them. You put a hand up. You say, sir.
I think that's the moment we celebrate that we've got enough law enforcement officers on the job.
We're going a little fast. You know what they need?
First one's a warning.
I'm fair. I'm fine with that.
You're a reasonable guy.
I think you need speed walking cameras for all of these ambitious grandmothers out there speed walking.
Okay.
Slow those old birds down.
Sure.
Because it's dangerous.
And you get into a group of them.
Well, they could hurt themselves.
A murder of grandmas, they call those.
A murder of grandmas. I think it's actually
called
one of those electric
it's called
signs? A cuddle of grandmas.
Cuddle. Would you have one of those signs that are activated by motion, like the side of the road?
Yeah.
You see like 12, slow down, flashing in red,
Absolutely.
slow down.
But I don't think it's flashing red. I think it just like does a frowny face. It just goes,
disappointment.
Yeah.
That's what really gets to them.
Shame and disappointment. Yeah. All right.
Tell me about the Tacoma Police Department.
Tukwila Police Department.
I'm sorry, Tukwila. TPD.
So they posted this. I think this is really funny. I like when they do this kind of stuff. They posted this on Facebook. Missed connection. You left before we were able to chat about your behavior. You were in our fine city prowling vehicles today in your distinct-looking SUV in front of numerous 4K quality surveillance cameras that clearly recorded you, your vehicle, your license plate, and every nefarious act that you committed along the way. Kudos to whatever you do to stay looking so young. They're, you always catch more flies with honey.
Sure.
You haven't aged a day since your DOL photo was taken. Keep an eye out in the mail for your coupon for 1 free court appearance for vehicle prowling and malicious mischief. You're also free to call us to discuss this matter and speed the process up for yourself. Save everybody some time. Isn't that funny?
So let me get this straight. This guy was caught on surveillance camera. I'm assuming door ring cameras?
Could be. Could also be
home
shop
security
cameras. If it's whatever.
So this guy was recorded on camera car prowling and malicious mischief.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a court summons because he's being charged?
Well, it sounds like it. Sounds like they want to see him in court.
You can bring up charges with, I guess so. You don't have to be, it must be a witness. A live witness, you got digital witnesses.
If the camera sees you doing it, and if they verify that it's you from your DOL
and
photo.
Your car prowling?
And your car prowling. And we don't know if this person, they don't specify here in the thing, but did this person break a window to try to get into these cars? I mean, isn't that what car prowling is? You would have been broken into the vehicle.
Trying door handles?
Yeah. Maybe he stole something out of one of the cars. Wow. If he didn't steal the vehicle.
I think if he had film of them stealing something, I'd be more than prowling and malicious mischief. Right? I mean, because
what is car prowling? Is it just looking at a car?
I guess looking through, checking door handles, maybe.
Because somebody could walk up and admire a car. Like if I see an old,
I'm thinking about picking one
muscle car. You go like, oh, that's a nice old Hemi.
I'm thinking about what kind of interior color I like. So I'm looking around, see what interior is like. It's hard to tell from a brochure. I want to look inside the window and see what that interior looks like after a couple years in the sun.
Sure.
There's my out.
Well,
this guy got popped by a door. You're the worst criminal ever. You're getting arrested by a door camera.
Who also apparently looks young. So that's a nice thing.
There's that.
Yeah.
And kudos to the Tukwila PD. This is a great post.
Yeah, it's funny. I like
and the two officers. Are those the two guys howling? They're laughing their brains out in the car.
That's an image from.
Is that a stock photo? Is that one of those?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh,
that's an actor.
Oh, you're right. And I recognize the other guy too.
The other guy too, which I can't remember his name, but he's in
he's
Dora the
wonderful.
Explorer, and he's in what else is he in? He's in a lot of stuff.
He's been in He was in The Martian.
Was he in The Martian?
He was the pilot in The Martian. He's one of my favorite actors.
Yeah, you're
I can't remember his name.
One of your favorite actors.
He looks so young.
Laura, what's his name? What's his actor's name? We'll tell you when we come back. Stick around. We got a lot more coming up.
He was in Fridays. Next Friday.
The John Curley Show.
They call him Reggie Smiley Wilson. How many years did you drive a Metro bus?
36 years.
You were the guy that had a smile sign. When people came on, you say smile, you do jokes.
That bus is reality. And everybody needs to know that, hey, man, my reality is no different from yours because I got to eat, I got to sleep, and I got to work. And I think we all want to do it a better way.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube, weekdays 3 to 7, and download the KIRO Newsradio app.
Hey, Spike O'Neill for Sharp Vision Modern LASIK Lens. I was just talking to one of my coworkers who was saying it's maybe about time for them to take a look at refractive lens exchange. And I asked him, so are you tired of looking for your glasses? Right? It's time. Give the folks over at Sharp Vision Modern LASIK Lens a call at 425-451-2020. You go and you'll have a comprehensive eye exam. And they will tell you where you stand with your vision and what's right for you. And for me, it was the fact that I had the beginning of cataract. And I was a perfect candidate for refractive lens exchange. I went in, simple procedure, one afternoon. The care team from start to finish were amazing, wonderful, answered all my questions. And I had a lot of questions, had some anxiety going in. They put me at ease. The procedure went flawlessly. And within a couple weeks, I had the best vision of my life. Not just 2020 like when I was a kid, 2010. And I will never need glasses again, and I will never develop cataract. If it's time for you to take a look at what your vision looks like, 425-451-2020 is the phone number. You can find sharpvision.com online, sharp with an e-vision.com, official eye care providers of Sounders FC.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Hi, I'm Keith Dashafee, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. We're celebrating 100 years of Pella excellence with an offer as strong as our legacy. Get $100 off every window, $100 off every door, and enjoy 100 days with no interest and no payments. It's our way of saying thank you for letting us be a part of your homes for a century. Visit PellaPNW.com to schedule your free consultation today. Pella, 100 years strong.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body?
Huh?
That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Swing and a miss. Strike three. That is strikeout number 7 for Brian Wu.
Home. Home is where you get to cook things up just the way you like.
Swing and a miss.
Where you're never afraid to get in the kitchen.
He got a huge strikeout from Logan Gilbert. It's 7th tonight.
Where you serve, carve, put some extra mustard on it.
There's the fist pump by Luis Castillo. Strikeout number 10 on the night.
And get a little spicy.
Set a heater at 100. Back-to-back strikeouts for Andres Munoz.
Now you're cooking with gas. Mariners baseball at T-Mobile Park. Welcome home.
The next Mariners homestand gets started with a 3-day Randy Arozarena bobblehead giveaway against the Nationals, May 27th through May 29th. All 3 games are Mariners value games, which means you can score seats for as little as $11. Go to mariners.com/value games to lock in your tickets today.
Celebrate 50 seasons of Seahawks football at Lumen Field and take your game day to the next level with premium hospitality and incredible views. Host a one-of-a-kind event in a private game day suite or get front row access with sideline and end zone field seats. For more on how to elevate your game day at Lumen Field, visit Seahawks.com/premium.
From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
Guys, thinking about testosterone replacement therapy? Revive Men's Health can help you get started if you're ready to book your free T-check. Visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. That's Revive, REVIBE, menshealth.com.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on mynorthwest.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
Back to the show. Spike, we've been corrected. We were talking about those safe streets thing. We were speculating what the school zone speed is. Apparently in our state it's 20.
It's 20.
Not 25.
Not 25, okay. And I erred on the side of caution.
20.
You know, when I wasn't sure, I said I'm only going to go 20.
Yep. Still, 10 is very slow. 10's very slow.
I don't know how that's even possible to do.
I don't even know it's possible. These things.
And when people feel like I can't keep doing this, that's when they're going to blow it off. And they're going to zip through.
Yeah. And the question is it a Fergalicious? Or
Turd Ferguson. It's a funny name.
Is it a Turd Ferguson?
Depends on who frames it.
What do you think?
If it's about public safety, then it's Fergalicious. If the story says Bob Ferguson doesn't care about your child's safety, he's Turd Ferguson.
Yeah.
Right? It's all in the framing. It's all in how you rack it up for the public consumption.
If the marketing is he doesn't want you to be able to use your car on the roads and
unreasonably
slow speed.
You bet. Yeah,
that's a turd Ferguson.
Yep, turd Ferguson
for sure. But we'll find out more when we know more.
There you go.
All right, we got a lot of other stuff to get to. Do you know what Klarna is?
I didn't until Laura brought the story, and I'm very familiar with the service.
Yeah,
I didn't know these were the guys doing it.
This is the company behind
it.
So Klarna is they have their product is buy now, pay later. It's kind of like layaway.
Well, or every time I buy anything online these days, it's like, do you want to pay it or do you want to make 4 easy payments of whatever?
That's them.
That's them.
I think there's some other services they're probably not the only game in town, but they're a big one.
They're like a fits-all credit card for any place you want to shop. They're the service that offers these payment plans to a bunch of different digital vendors. Is that a
traditionally you would use a payment plan for something like, let's say you had to make a big purchase, like let's say your lawnmower blew.
Okay.
And you had to go buy a new lawnmower from Sears, and you go there, and you're like, oh, boy, I don't know if I have $350 on me right now. And then they say, well, we got a payment plan. People might make a payment plan on something like that.
Sure.
Whatever. That's just a bad example. What Klarna does is they basically offer that payment plan for anything you might purchase, including they had some splashy connection that this big marketing thing that they were doing recently. Was this with Uber Eats? What was this with?
I think it was DoorDash.
DoorDash.
Finance your burrito on DoorDash.
Yes.
Right.
So your late night snacks.
Yeah.
You don't maybe not have
you're
the cash
broke,
on
you're
hand.
You're drunk. You're hungry.
We can help you.
We can help you. We got your back.
4 easy payments on that $2.87 burrito.
Well,
it's not a joke.
With the DoorDash delivery fee, it's now a $17 $3 burrito,
and whatever Klarna's one-time fee is,
right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So news has now come out that they are apparently financially not reporting huge successes. Let's see here. They've
lost a ton.
$100 million for the 3 months. So this last quarter, they said they lost $100 million for the months to March. Just reporting for the first quarter of the year. Last year, they reported that they had lost $47 million last year. This is all according to, there's a Financial Times article talking about this. But so like $47 million they lost in the previous year. First quarter this year, they've lost 99.
It's getting twice as bad, worse.
Is this surprising to you, though? So the people who would be financing things like, let's say somebody wants to buy a fine perfume or something, but they don't necessarily want to pay the $75 right away.
Right.
Or somebody wants to buy a taco or two. You laugh, but it's a real thing.
No, people are doing it. People are buying things on time.
Yep.
And these folks at Klarna are wonderfully generous and trusting to a fault that they're extending credit to anybody.
I wonder
with no collateral.
Do you think this is a useful business?
I think it's a useful business if run correctly. But clearly, if you've lost $100 million in the first 3 months of 2025, you are not doing it correctly.
Which suggests to me that the people who are using the service are not making payments.
Right, they're stiffing this company.
Buying the burrito.
And this company's writing it off as a loss.
And they're not happily paying for a cheeseburger that they ate yesterday.
In 4 easy payments.
Yeah.
Right. It's a business model based on Popeye.
Yes.
That's exactly what this is.
I also wonder, I'm not saying this is them, but I'm just saying businesses like this, I do question sometimes whether or not it's predatory. Because you're marketing to people. Think about this. You're marketing to somebody who cannot afford to buy a burrito right now.
Right. Yeah.
That's not a person who's maybe making the best financial choices if they can't afford the burrito right now. So they say to themselves, hey, when I tack on a fee and if I pay this over time.
Right, I can scrounge up $12 a month for the next, or $12 a week for the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, but
for this hunger I have right now.
And I understand. Everybody's been hungry. I get it.
Sure.
It's an immediate need. I get it. And we all do need food. And I understand from their position, not just Klarna, but other companies who do things like this, they're offering a service so their justification is, well, we're helping people eat or whatever.
And when they do pay us back, we got an incredibly high interest rate.
Well, I don't know exactly what the interest rate is on a burrito.
Well, if you got to compensate for the many people who are stiffing you, there's high risk involved. I bet they got a pretty high rate of interest of this.
I can't speak to the specifics of Klarna, but I do know that the business model doesn't seem to be working. So I don't.
Well, lending people money without any collateral, a way to repossess. How do you go and get back the burrito, or the expensive perfume you were put on payments?
You just wait.
Your collateral is the guacamole.
Yeah, okay.
You'll get it back.
Okay, you'll get it back, but are you going to want... Oh,
You may
man.
not like it, but you'll get it back.
Horrible.
If you really want it back, you can get it back.
Yeah, I don't see how this business... I mean, it's a great service. You're right. If it's,
No, I don't know, but
if
that's
it's
just
run
it.
well...
You keep saying it's a great service. I don't know if it's a great service.
If you confront people, if you give people the ability to pay on time, it's a business model as old as the hills.
No, I understand.
You just got to have collateral.
I understand.
And a way to mitigate your losses.
It works for houses and cars. Is it designed for burritos?
Maybe if you stop people from making drunk purchases, maybe there's got to be like a sobriety code.
Yeah.
To put this on payment, enter this 10-digit code back.
There it is.
Because if you can't even write down a 10-digit
I
code,
hope
you're
you're
too
listening,
hammered to
pay on
spend.
time companies. Spike just solved your problem.
Boom.
All right, we got a lot more coming up. We'll be right back.
Winners of 3 2025 Regional Edward R. Murrow Awards, including Overall Excellence, Feature Reporting, and Sports Reporting.
Sneakers squeak across the Storm's new practice facility. In Seattle, Heather Bosch, KIRO News Radio.
We thank you. We are the Northwest leading news station because of you.
Inspiring us every day to deliver the local news and stories you care about.
On KIRO News Radio, YouTube, the app, and 97.3 FM.
Power Up Series, brought to you by Swiffer Power Mop. Using a mop and bucket is not the only way to get your floors clean. There's a quicker way. Kick the bucket with the Swiffer Power Mop. It has built-in solution that breaks down dirt and grime, and a pad with 300-plus scrubbing strips that absorb and lock sticky messes. Brought to you by the Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one cleaning tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. Mop smarter with the Swiffer Power Mop.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
We know finding a company to trust with your home is a big decision, and one we look forward to earning with incredible service, top quality products, and lifetime warranties. Adrian here, owner of Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Our windows are feature rich with our sound package that reduces noise by 50%, clean glass technology, and added protection with our exclusive First Guard 3-layer security glass. Learn more about all of these features at lakewashingtonwindows.com. Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This
is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. President Trump has announced what he calls a Golden Dome missile defense program for the U.S., putting U.S. weapons in space for the first time.
The Golden Dome will be capable of intercepting missiles even if they are launched from other sides of the world and even if they are launched from space.
Trump says he expects it to be operational by the time he leaves office. He was on Capitol Hill earlier putting the pressure on Republicans to pass his budget plan. Torian Small reports.
President Trump called Republicans who would not vote for this bill fools. And he said that this was a huge campaign promise and it almost falls on their shoulders if this fails.
There are new guidelines for who should get COVID shots. Alexander Tin reports.
The FDA has decided to continue approving updates to the COVID vaccines this fall and winter for seniors over 65 years old and other Americans with an underlying risk factor ranging from obesity to pregnancy. But it is also stepping up its requirements for approvals of shots for the rest of Americans and will require new randomized placebo-controlled trials.
There is more severe weather in the forecast, and it's already shaping up to be the second busiest tornado season ever. Parts of Mississippi were hard hit in March and are still waiting for federal disaster assistance.
We need federal help, and we need it desperately, and we need it now.
Nearly 20 tornadoes tore through the state. The cleanup has been delayed or even halted by a lack of money. The administration has said states should take the lead, but Nicole Skanga reports that's not always possible.
FEMA is considering sort of raising the threshold for when it gets involved in helping states to recover from these sort of federally declared disasters. But what we're seeing in Mississippi, if it's any indication of what's to come, states are not ready to do this alone in the way that FEMA 2.0 might force them to.
Israel says more aid was delivered to Gaza today. The UN says none has reached Palestinians. And as Israel escalates its military operations, Britain has had enough.
We repeat our demand to massively scale up humanitarian assistance into Gaza.
Prime Minister Keir Starmer, the UK has suspended free trade talks with Israel. Actor George Wendt has died. He played Norm Peterson on the series Cheers.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name.
Wendt was 76. He had a long career on Broadway and on TV, but he's best known for being Norm. He was nominated for 6 straight Emmy Awards. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrials finished the day 114 points lower. This is CBS News.
A word from Progressive Insurance. Life can be hard, so Progressive can make bundling your home and auto easy. Hope that helps. Learn more at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Coming up, cold case investigators are back at a Tacoma home today. A live report from that scene. But first, we go to the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. This report is brought to you by Bucky's Complete Auto Repair. Trouble on 405 southbound right at the VMAC. A disabled vehicle blocking the right lane at 44th Street. About a 3-mile backup, very thick out of downtown Bellevue. All clear, though, once you reach the landing, and then the Valley Freeway also in good shape right now. Renton to Puyallup. About a 45-minute drive there. Still dealing with an earlier crash on I-5 northbound. This is just north of SR 516. Looks like it's all cleared, but the backups do persist all the way down to 272nd Street. Rest of the map, pretty much average for this time of day. Right now, Linwood to Seattle taking you about 40 minutes or so. Just some slowdowns right around the 520 interchange. Lake bridges are in very good shape, and so is the Tacoma to Olympia Drive. Safety First comes with no credit financing at Bucky's Complete Auto for oil changes, brakes, tune-ups, wiper blades, and factory maintenance. Check the Bucky's near you at buckys.com.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Police and a forensics team are back at work in the backyard of a Tacoma home today, following up on a lead in a cold case. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch joins us live with the latest. James.
Aaron, a cold case team worked late into the night, then got up early this morning here at this home on South Gunnison Street and South Wright Avenue. All we know for sure is they're working on a cold case, but there are 147 cold cases in Tacoma dating back to 1936, and they won't say which one. Neighbors like Milo Maiawat believe it could be 2-year-old Tika Lewis, who disappeared in 1999.
I feel bad for her mom. I couldn't imagine. I have kids. Not knowing where your 2-year-old's been for 26 years. That's heartbreaking.
There is no indication how long this investigation might take. Live in Tacoma, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Thank you, James. One of the streets around Washington Middle School in Seattle is now blocked off, part of an effort to keep kids safe following the death of a 12-year-old student. Arsama Baraku was hit and killed by a runaway SUV at that school back in March. The street in front of the building will now be closed between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. every school day. Jury selection is underway now in the trial of a man charged in a crash that killed a Washington state trooper last year. Defense lawyers for 33-year-old Raul Benitez Santana wanted the case dismissed, but as KIRO 7 TV's Jason Sloss reports, judges rejected their arguments.
Benitez Santana is accused of DUI and causing a crash on I-5 near Marysville that killed 27-year-old state trooper Christopher Gadd in March of last year. Investigators said he was going more than 100 miles an hour when he slammed into the back of the trooper's cruiser. Benitez Santana was illegally in the U.S. when he was arrested. Defense attorneys wanted the case tossed, accusing the prosecutor's office of, quote, outrageous misconduct for contacting ICE after charges were filed and violating state sanctuary laws.
Benitez Santana remains in custody, being held on $100,000 bail. Being a litter bug will soon cost you more. The Washington State Standard reports fines for littering or climbing from $103 up to $256 this summer. New law also delays rules for thicker, reusable plastic bags for 2 more years. Weather now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Light scattered showers for this afternoon with temperatures, the high temperatures at least climbing to around 60 degrees today. Right now, 57 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Long ago, but not so very long ago.
Welcome back to the Jake and Spike Show.
The world was different. Oh, yes, it was.
This is James Taylor, a song called Our Town. You've heard it before, Spike.
I have.
So I learned of this song in a movie called Cars.
Bet.
And was it original that movie, or is this a song from the 70s? I don't know the answer to that.
I didn't think it was an original production for Cars.
Yeah.
I thought it was just from James Taylor's catalog because it's about reminiscing.
Sure.
And things that are lost, if not going away.
Yeah. And in the movie,
as in Radiator Springs.
Yep. Radiator
Springs.
The
town bypassed by Route 66.
All of a sudden, this cute little town, all these cute little businesses, no longer able to get those cars in off Route 66. Thank the Lord for Lightning McQueen. Wilkeson is a town near Mount Rainier. Tiny little town. I love tiny little towns. I live in a tiny little town. I drive in from my tiny little town every single day into Seattle. I can't wait to get home to my tiny little town.
One of my favorite things about Washington are the little towns. The little towns that you drive through on the way to Rainier, as in Wilkeson.
Yep.
Or if you're going wherever you're going, you stop through Index. You know, you get a burger.
I love
Index. At the place out by Wenatchee, Lake Wenatchee.
Sure.
That old the 49er diner, I think it was.
Absolutely.
Right. It burned down, rebuilt, luckily. But Wilkeson, no end. Wilkeson, one end at the end of it.
Wilkeson
is in danger of going away forever.
Well, the only way to access Wilkeson, basically the only draw for that tiny town, is it's a side stop on your way to Mount Rainier. If you're going to Mount Rainier, you're outdoor adventuring, you're climbing, you're sightseeing, whatever you're doing. You might stop off in Wilkeson and you would, visit one of the little businesses there, or you
have
would
lunch.
Have
Gas
lunch. Maybe get a VRBO or something cool. The problem, though, is that they are now being bypassed, just like and you're looking at these pictures, Spike. It's an adorable little town.
It's beautiful.
But you look at what happened was the way to access them is over the Fairfax Bridge, which is over the Carbon River. That bridge is like over 100 years old, and it's overdue for some maintenance, and so they had to shut it down. And now the town is being bypassed as people make their way a different route around to Mount Rainier. And so we thought, let's talk to somebody from Wilkeson, try to figure out how to help them and figure out how to get people back into that town. So we're very excited to welcome now Jamie Paloli. She started the Wilkeson Historical District just last year. Jamie, thanks for coming on.
Jake and Spike, thanks so much for having me.
It's a pleasure to see you. Jamie,
love your town, by the way. Beautiful town. I've stopped in your town before.
Yeah, gorgeous little town.
Thank you.
Tell us about your town and when you decided to, try to figure out, because you guys are brainstorming right now. How do you get more people to come to the town? And how does the state get the money to fix the bridge so that your town doesn't just, get forgotten?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll start off a little bit with how my story is a little bit unique to the town. I have a very deeply personal stake in this, what's happening in Wilkeson. It's not only just about the bridge for me, it's about the legacy of my family that's been here for generations. I was born here in Wilkeson. I've been here my entire life. My daughter, who's 19, is the 6th generation of my family to call Wilkeson home. And my great-grandparents came to Wilkeson from Italy. My great-grandmother did in 1914. My great-grandfather came also from Italy in 1915. They met here, fell in love, started their family and built a life in Wilkeson. And in 1921, they purchased and ran the town's grocery store at the time. They bought it from my great-grandmother's brother. So really, it's been in the family since 1914.
Amazing.
That year, in 1921, it was the same year that the Fairfax Bridge opened and was completed. And so they ran that grocery store for 50 years, 1921 to 1971. And then it really became a cornerstone of the community. Today, I'm actually renovating. I'm still in town. I live in their home, actually. That was built in 1900 as well. I'm renovating that same 125-year-old brick building. I purchased it in 2023. And it'll be an Airbnb and a rentable community space. I'm trying to add even more value, like you mentioned, that incredible lineup of small businesses here in Wilkeson. There's been a huge movement over the past several years. I'm just really proud to contribute to that. But now, 103 years later, I'm working to restore what my family started. The bridge that's connected to Mount Rainier, like you talked about, the Fairfax Bridge, is now closed. 103 years later, I'm exactly where they were when they started. I'm here when it ended. And so it's really a full circle moment for me, and just a reminder of how much it's endured here in Wilkeson and how committed I am to moving forward. But like you mentioned, it's not just the infrastructure of the bridge, it's a critical access point for Mount Rainier and the surrounding region. So it didn't just disrupt Wilkeson, which is obviously a huge problem, but its closure disrupted the flow of visitors to our peak travel season and other businesses that are on the way up to Wilkeson that depend on that travel and tourism. So the impact has been immediate and severe right away, right off the top. So I think what people might not realize, though, too, is it is an emotional piece for everyone here. It's weathered the loss of coal mining back in the early 1900s, timber, a lot of natural resources left town. And so it feels like another heavy blow. So we fought hard to survive at that point and rebuild and keep Wilkeson's identity alive. But the businesses in Wilkeson along the route to Wilkeson have seen that sharp drop in traffic overnight. You could tell that
devastating. Yeah,
people just weren't coming up here. My daughter, who's 19, she came in the door one day and said, "It's so quiet outside."
Oh.
And it shakes you to your core, because for me, obviously it is more emotional than anything. But if travelers change their habits now, if there's no guarantee if or when a bridge gets reopened that they're are going to return. They're going to start to create new ways around.
Right,
and
develop other habits. Yeah.
Absolutely. The Wilkeson Historical District, really, I started that last year. It's a nonprofit that was in support of the economic development and preservation of the town. I walked uptown and saw my building and realized it's not just me that needs support. The awning needs fixed. Things are falling down. How do I create an opportunity for this town to be resilient against things that could potentially happen that I had no idea were coming down the pipeline so soon? So,
Jamie, do you have a background in this? Like, do you have did you just kind of like leap into this and decide I'm going to fix this town up? Like, what was I know you have the family motivation. You have 6 generations, which is amazing. But what's your background to try to attempt something like this?
Absolutely. So the majority of the last decade of my work has been in sales for construction materials. I was approached by Washington State University last fall for a director of development position for Northwest Public Broadcasting to support on the philanthropy side. And that was my first interaction. I then had an opportunity to go to work for a local hospital here on this side of the mountain, also in philanthropy. And that really was, you're 100% right, I took a look at the town and looked at what I was doing in my day job and thought, how do I do it in my town? How do I create an opportunity? And so in response to the bridge closure, I pivoted very quickly with the nonprofit and started to raise funds for the purchase of 137 acres that are owned by Weyerhaeuser here in town. Wilkeson already had the conversation with them. They were looking to purchase it, applied for some grants, didn't have any luck getting that money. And so I went to the town right away and said, how do I pivot? How do we create an opportunity to get funding in to secure this land? So having that property in town can really help drive future tourism, expand the outdoor access here, really give a different anchor for Wilkeson.
Do you have that property now?
We just started it. We were in talks with Weyerhaeuser a couple weeks ago. They confirmed. I wanted to make sure they knew what we wanted to do before they heard me on the radio talking about it. So they are a huge support of Wilkeson. They really want to see us thrive here, and they're in conversation with us and have agreed to let us fund for that and secure that property with hopefully a close in 2026.
Well, nothing says tax deduction like a big, nice donation of land to the great town of Wilkeson. How long ago was the bridge closure something that you knew was coming down the pipe, or was this an event-driven closure?
Yeah, so last summer, I distinctly remember when we heard they were lowering the tonnage capacity on the bridge. And anyone has heard that before is going to know something else is coming. I've been here 42 years will be this year, and it just is so unprecedented. I mean, you think that maybe it's not going to happen here. They're just going to continue to change things, because who would close this bridge when it's the lifeline to our town? We had some really awful things happen very early this year with a drowning that happened, and another woman fell in. You've got to think from a resource standpoint. I was a volunteer firefighter, EMT with Wilkeson back in my 20s. And from a fire department standpoint, we couldn't send the majority of our resources over that bridge. It just couldn't handle the tonnage of some of our apparatuses. And so the best thing to do at that point from probably their standpoint is we just can't have people go over it. So I think not only the bridge being an issue, I think a lot of it was our infrastructure and our people, our resources. We can't have them injuring themselves trying to get people. And so with all the other things added onto it, it probably was the best idea to close it.
It's a huge liability, yeah.
It's a huge liability. It just really brings it back to the initial question is, why was the maintenance so deferred for so long?
That's infrastructure in America right there. Everybody's, a lot too many stories like that. Is there a targeted time is there a plan to rebuild, reopen, restructure the bridge?
Yeah, so Washington State DOT has been very transparent in what they're trying to accomplish here. And really, there are a couple ways to go forward. There is nothing real definitive in their timeline. It's $150 to $200 million to get this bridge back up and going. Even if they had the money today, it would be 5 to 7 years before we would see anything happen. So the second I was in that DOT meeting in Wilkeson, probably been a month now, I right away went to work on what are strategies that we can utilize that we are not relying on them for that bridge to reopen, because really I don't even think about that bridge anymore. I've got to find other access ways around it. And so we are not sitting back. We're actively working with our elected officials. I've had several meetings with, like I said, Weyerhaeuser, local school districts, those private landowners. We have an opportunity, and I've kind of put some things together of what that might look like for short and long-term solutions. We're exploring interim access options, just pushing forward with economic development and keeping those communication lines open. I have nowhere to go for the next 40 years, but right here to fight this. So me, along with everybody else, there is a huge outpour of people that we've seen so much support for Wilkeson. We're so thankful for that, and media coverage and folks like yourself who have reached out and really just want to know what's going on. It's very great and beautiful to witness. So I look at this as an opportunity. If the bridge hadn't closed, we wouldn't had looked inward for resources. And so this is a great opportunity for us to come together and figure out what it's going to look like moving forward.
Well, is it an evacuation route? Is there any way to get an emergency status on this bridge being reopened?
Yeah, so they've created we call it the Old Manly Moor, the CC Road. So as you go past Wilkeson, instead of going like you would go up to the normal bridge, there is a detour. You take a left, go past the school. Okay. It's about a
Forest road or something?
It's a Forest Service road that's privately owned, but there is an emergency access that was granted to Washington State DOT. So we've got about 40 residents on the other side of the bridge that are now using that road instead of the original road.
Well, Jamie, if people are interested in finding more out about this, where might they go? Do you guys have a website or something that we could send people to?
Yeah, so we're on Facebook and Instagram, the Wilkeson Historical District, or wilkeson.historicaldistrict, wilkeson.historical.district@gmail.com. Reaching out to Marie Wellock at the town of Wilkeson. She's a great resource. She'll point you in the right direction. And then our GoFundMe, Wilkeson's Way Forward, is what we've created to campaign. So.
Wilkeson, Wilkeson, Wilkeson's Way Forward.
That's correct.
What if we find you a cheaper bridge? I mean, $150 million fencing. What kind of bridge they want?
200. She said 200.
Geez, a whiz.
150 to 200. Yeah, or a different way around.
Is it a golden bridge?
It should be. I think at that point, yeah. I don't know if I can fundraise that much, but I'm going to start at $1 million and see how far we go. So
we got to start somewhere. Well, Jamie Pololi, thank you for making the time, and we'd love to check in down the road, and hopefully you've got some good news for us. Last question: How many people do you have in Wilkeson? Like, what's the size of that town?
I think we're under 500. I'd say it's probably about 480, 485.
It's a cute small town. Yeah.
Cute small town. It used to be thousands. It used to be close to 2,000 back in the mining days. Yeah.
Very good. All right, that's Jamie Pololi. She is the founder of the Wilkeson Historical District, and you can find out more information on that GoFundMe page. Jamie, thank you so much for making the time. We really appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
All right, we have a lot more coming up. I hope that town gets fixed.
I don't want to get her hopes up, but I got the answer here, buddy.
You got a bridge for it?
No, I got you.
What am I going to do?
You're a screenwriter. This is a Hallmark movie waiting to happen. I'm telling you.
Hallmark doesn't pay enough.
Sixth generation?
It's very cheap work.
Volunteer firefighter?
It's not worth the time.
Came home
I hope
to
she does
save
well.
her hometown?
I hope she does well, but the better version is Cars, which has already happened. Okay. If you could animate it, make it an animated thing somehow, then I think there's something to talk about there. All right, really cool though that she's sixth generation.
That's amazing.
It is fun when you go to meet people who have been in towns forever.
Her grandparents came from Italy, but not together? And they met in Wilkeson?
They met in Wilkeson.
How
what
is
are the
that's
odds of
crazy.
That is crazy. And that last name is very, very Italian. Pololi.
Right?
Pololi. Jamie Pololi. Very cool. All right, I want to go to Wilkeson now. I want to check it out.
I have driven through that town on the way to Mount Rainier. Now, if I go back to do any outdoor, go to Hike Paradise or something,
go spend some money.
I'm not going through that town, though.
Well, you can get around.
The bridge is closed.
Forest Service
Road.
Road.
Take a forest road.
Yeah.
It's worth it, though. It's a great town.
Which is kind of a fun adventure. Take the Forest Service Road, folks.
Get new tires first.
All right. We got a lot of stuff coming up. A lot more. We got your text messages. We have just a lot of stories. We have not even gotten to half of the stuff we plan on talking about today. So we're going to just ram it all in next. You're going to love it. It's going to be great. We'll be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens. Why local news matters.
KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey is here.
So in April, we did a story on this rehab facility called Pushing Boundaries. They've helped thousands of people recovering from brain injuries on the brink of closing shop after months of dwindling donations. And just days later, they started getting donations and they raised $200,000 they needed thanks to our listeners to stay open.
KIRO News Radio.
We've got some great listeners out there.
On 97.3 FM. And download the KIRO News Radio app.
Do you notice sounds coming from your crawl space or attic, or possibly stale or foul odors in your home? This could be that rodents have gotten into your attic and crawl and have made it their home. They tear up the insulation to make nests to have babies. They contaminate it with their biological waste, which can be harmful to your health. And they ruin your home's energy blanket, costing you thousands of dollars a year. If you even think you may have a problem, call Insulation Northwest today, and we will come to your home as soon as tomorrow and perform a free, no-obligation inspection to determine what the problem is. This inspection normally costs $199, but it's yours free just for calling today. If we discover any problem with rodents in your home, we can get them out out and keep them out and restore your home's protective insulation blanket back to brand new condition. Let Insulation Northwest give peace and comfort back to you and your family and save you thousands of dollars in energy savings. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
Time is running out to save during our preseason AC sale happening now at Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Don't miss your chance to save 10% on a new air conditioner, heat pump, or ductless system to keep your home cool all summer long. Join thousands of satisfied customers and put your trust in the team voted best in the Pacific Northwest year after year. Hurry and call Bob's for your free AC estimate today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
Citizens, since we each upgraded to Xfinity in our homes, the Wi-Fi has been booming. It's fair to say our town has officially become a boomtown.
Mayor, will I be able to drop into multiplayer gaming battles with low lag?
The lag won't be an issue, but your questionable skills may be.
And what if I have hundreds of devices on the Wi-Fi? Purely hypothetical.
Seems like a lot, but sure, hundreds of devices all booming together with the Xfinity Gateway. Yes, friends and neighbors, with Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming.
The Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Now get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best-in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed. All in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract. All with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with XFi Complete required for unlimited data except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
When we reach our golden years, it's natural to want to stay in our homes. We've worked hard for them, but as our minds and bodies age, the home can become an unsafe place where loneliness thrives. Amanda here for Care Partners Senior Living. Our communities offer safe living spaces and managed common areas with medical professionals on site and ready to help. We assist you with your mobility when needed, allowing you to socialize or participate in activities whenever you like. Care Partners Senior Living provides both privacy and socialization at your desired pace. You aren't living alone in our communities because help is always nearby. And believe it or not, community living can be more cost-effective than in-home care. With locations throughout Washington and Arizona, you'll find a Care Partners community near you. Care, it's in our name and what we do. Learn more at carepartnersliving.com.
With 30 communities, including Covington, Bremerton, Snohomish, and the grand opening of North Creek Bothell, there's quality senior care at an affordable price near you. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Parango and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Summer is on everyone's mind, and many of us ladies, well, you men too, would like to get rid of that extra stubborn fat and address those areas of loose skin like around the waistline, chin, and upper arms. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat freezing methods, even those new pills, but without getting the results you were hoping for. Introducing ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. ProSculpt is minimally invasive, performed while you're fully awake, and it's gentle yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate and permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation, and for a limited time, get $250 off. Feel confident this summer with instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening that works for women and men too. ProSculpt.com.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. A rim-to-rim hike of the Grand Canyon proved into a deadly trek for a man from Olympia. 74-year-old Dennis Smith died near the North Rim last week. Joelle Baird is a national park ranger.
Unfortunately, he was not able to complete his hike, just shy of a half a mile. Believed that he went into cardiac arrest.
Well, Smith was hiking with the group along the trail. It stretches more than 20 miles and includes an elevation gain of more than 6,000 feet. A medical examiner will determine the exact cause of death. President Trump today met with House Republicans aiming to unify the party around a wide-ranging bill that cuts both taxes and spending.
I think we have unbelievable unity. I think we're going to get everything we want.
And legislation includes making permanent those tax cuts passed during the president's first term. But the rift remains among Republicans. Fiscal hardliners want changes that would shrink the deficits. Others are demanding provisions that could make that bill more pricey. Bellevue police are sending a warning for residents that jewelry thieves may be on the prowl. Here's KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
Police say it usually starts with two or more suspects pulling up in a car and starting up a conversation. At some point, their questions, though, turn into stealing a purse, jewelry, whatever they can. And spokesperson Drew Anderson says this is who those thieves typically target.
More on the older side, more on the side of folks where English isn't their native language that they use.
Police say there was a wave of similar crimes last year. Always call police if you feel you're being targeted. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Greater Seattle area is now fourth in the nation for the highest median home sale price. This is according to a new RE/MAX National Housing Reports. We get more on this from KIRO News Radio's Heather Bosch.
The median price of a home in King, Pierce, and Snohomish counties is $750,000, behind only San Francisco, Los Angeles, and San Diego. And if you just look at Seattle.
Currently, we have a median price in Seattle of $899,475.
Yeah, just shy of $900,000. John Manning with RE/MAX Gateway Seattle says that's the highest median price ever for the city, driving prices, high demand, and low supply. Heather Bosch, KIRO News Radio.
2:32 now. We head to the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. This report is brought to you by Beacon Plumbing. And we have cleared our two major incidents on the roadways right now, including that disabled vehicle on 405 southbound. That was right at the VMAC. Still seeing some backups, though, out of downtown Bellevue and approaching the VMAC. Clearing out once you reach the landing. And then the Renton to Puyallup Drive is starting to get a little thick out there. That is a 55-minute drive down the Valley Freeway. Linwood to Seattle taking you 43 minutes. Heading northbound, we cleared a crash on I-5 at SR 516 in Des Moines. The Tacoma to Olympia Drive looks like a 42-minute trip. And Bellevue to Renton, that's about a 35-minute drive. Lake bridges are running good, and nothing major slowing you down up north into Everett. This traffic report is brought to you by Beacon Plumbing. Weather now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. For today, we are staying mostly cloudy along with some sun breaks and also some scattered showers. Temperatures topping out right around 60 today. Right now, 58 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. Lots of fun today, lots of good stuff. We like your text messages, which is a great time. We also like that you guys are commenting on the YouTube live feature, which a lot of people are enjoying. Record numbers today, when we were talking about the stupidity of me donating a vehicle because it was empty on gas. I want to hear that story.
You were the victim of, I don't know if it was fraud or ineptitude by the mechanic you took it to. Don't beat yourself up too bad. I've been stewing on the story since you told it.
I beat myself up about it. If you missed the story, go back and listen at 12:30. It's entertaining. You're going to like it. And you're also
heartbreaking ending, though. Spoiler alert. Heartbreaking ending.
You will think less of me, but I feel like it will also give you possibly a smile.
And it's a cautionary tale. That's what it is. That's the benefit of it. Yeah. I was proud of you for sharing that moment in your life today.
Happy to do it.
You're re-traumatized.
Somebody asked me, they said, why did the person who bought the vehicle from the auction place I donated to, why did the person from North Carolina call you? They were looking for paperwork, additional paperwork. They were hoping that I had, when I donated it, that I didn't pass over.
Right.
Original, whatever. And so I didn't have that information for them. I certainly wasn't super eager to send it to them since they were living out my dream. But go back and listen to the podcast. It's a pathetic story of a pathetic man.
of loss and stupidity.
Of loss and stupidity.
Sorry.
I was going to play this earlier. I didn't
buddy.
have a chance to play this earlier, so I'm going to play it right now. But I just wanted to send this. I wanted to send this to my beautiful van who's out there somewhere living its best life with somebody
Yeah.
else. And I just
Making another family's dreams come true.
make another family's dreams come true.
Yeah,
And this is how
seriously.
I'm feeling all the way out here in Washington State, as it undoubtedly is in the North Carolina woods this summer, camping
spring.
and having the time of its life.
Chugging down the road, beeping its cute little horn. Happy, smiling kids in the back. Dog got his face in out the window. Slobber. Wind in its face.
What a beautiful life I could have had in that van.
But if not for you, this other family would never have these memories. So
You're
you
right.
gave it into the universe.
You're right.
Right?
You're right. And I like to think, I don't know how, but I like to think that if I had not accidentally given that van away, maybe I wouldn't have the family I have somehow today. You know what I
There you
mean?
go.
Like,
That's
like
right.
if that
The
van had
butterfly
gone away,
effect, right?
The butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Maybe my wife and I are romantic on a different day, and we have totally different kids.
Different kids.
And so, in a way, it had to happen.
It had, yeah. Or you wouldn't have the
Or I
four
wouldn't
beautiful
have my
boys.
4 beautiful
right?
boys that I have today.
Right on, buddy.
I'm glad it happened.
Yeah. You sound like it.
All right, let's read these text messages. Laura, fire away.
On Spike for getting his phone, RB in the 360 says, my wife got me a phone holster to hang off of the fanny pack she bought me.
Bingo.
I thought it was a nice gesture because I lose things. My coworker said she's just trying to keep me from ever having the option to cheat on her.
What? Wow.
Fanny pack.
With a phone holster.
Oh, it's a woman.
No one will ever
yeah.
find you. That's brilliant.
It's a
That is
female repellent.
It's a
brilliant.
real lady killer.
You're right.
Phone holster on the fanny pack.
Absolutely.
Wow.
That's good. I think you could benefit from that, actually.
From a fanny pack, trust me,
Not
I
the
don't,
but no, the
I don't
phone
need the
holster.
insurance. No, the phone holster is fine. The fanny pack, I don't need it. I was born
cool.
with one. Boom. Kevin in the 206
Boom,
says,
roasted.
you get an Apple Watch that has cellular capabilities, excuse me. Cellular capabilities. Isn't that what I said? When I take my younger kids, that's okay. Cellular.
Cellulite?
Same thing. I got both of us. Born with that again. When I take my younger kids out dirt biking, 14 and 10, I make the 14-year-old wear my watch, and I keep my phone so we both have the option to make phone calls and text if we are separated from each other. That's really a smart idea.
That's a smart idea. Yeah. Technology. 206 says Spikes needs a Prox PRD or a Samsung Smart Tag 2. It alerts you when your phone is left behind.
If you get more than 10 feet from your phone, you get an itch, a reaction, a nervous twitch.
Come back.
Calling. It harkens to me.
What are the odds if you forget your phone that you're going to remember to get your Samsung Smart Tag 2?
Yeah, that's embedded under your skin and your neck.
Oh, is it?
I've seen the movie.
Oh, smart.
You imagine if your phone
Smart Tag.
had rows.
Come back to me, please. I'll never leave you.
I'd never forget my phone again.
And then it drops you.
I'd freeze and drift away to the deep.
On jury duty, Kenny and I might have jury duty tomorrow. I'm trying to figure out how to get out of it. Might be too late. Kenny in Camano Island says, I've literally ignored every jury duty notice for 40 years. If you don't answer, they just move on. There's no way that they can prove you received the notice. Is that true?
I don't know, man.
425 says when you get the notification in the mail, throw it in their cycle bin. There are no tracking measures and no repercussions. Been doing this for over 40 years.
What?
There again, I'm an idiot. I've delayed it many times, so I'm aware of it.
Now they know that you know.
They play the tape. You outed yourself. Ryan in Auburn says, just no show like I did. Nothing happens. I told him I was racist and I have every phobia in the world. And they still tried to make me go.
Interesting. I've heard of that. People say, say things about you that aren't true, that are,
They just disqualify yourself.
Yeah. 360, COVID symptoms. That's a good one. I could
cough.
Cough a little bit right now, and then you've got a good alibi.
I got the black lung.
360 says the best way to avoid jury duty is to be a leader and be outspoken in your opinions. Both defense lawyers and prosecutors would rather not have a natural leader like Jake Skorheim that's going to take control of the jury room.
Nice.
So just go in and be yourself.
That's it. You are a natural
that's
leader.
very kind of
My
you.
favorite movie is 12 Angry Men. I can't wait to convince 11 other people
That's
of my
it.
way of thinking.
You got to get them believing
brilliant.
that you're excited.
Right.
I'm supposed to be here. I've been waiting my entire life to be here.
Look how I
Yes,
said
you're
that.
right.
Natural. You're a natural leader.
I'm going to do it.
Go in tomorrow morning and just take charge.
I'm going to take charge.
Be home by noon.
You know what? I'm actually going to offer to prosecute the defendant.
Let me do that. I got this.
I don't even need to be on the jury. I'll prosecute right now.
Right.
Guilty.
And I got a rope.
I'll say it's already guilty. I already know the phrase. I'm only voting guilty. If you said that, I guarantee you they would toss you. I never met. You know what I'd say? I'd say, "Show me the man, I'll show you the crime." And then they would say, "This guy's got to go."
Susan and Lake, on your dream vehicle being gone forever. Susan Lakewood says, Jake or Spike, do you want to buy a 83 VW Westphalia?
What? 83 VW Westphalia. She's looking at 20 grand. No.
Oh, Susan, text us back. What are you looking for? Let us know.
83 was.
Just be warned, Jake will lowball you.
Westphalia owners always think their van is worth more than it is.
They think they are.
They think it's just the best thing in the world. And you know what? They're right. Pretty sweet. Val in Shoreline says, internet shows 1985 van again. You would expect to pay $14,500. Yeah, Val, I know. Plus all the dreams. It's worth double that.
You can never buy those back.
Can never buy those back. You're absolutely right.
Well, on a 10-mile-per-hour speed limit, which you wouldn't have to worry about if you had the van again.
That's true.
Garth in Midland says, does that mean we need to ticket people riding unicycles at 12 miles an hour?
That's what Jake wanted to know. Is this a universal 10 mile per hour? Or is it only for car owners?
You see those guys riding those electric unicycle scooters?
Right.
Oh,
yeah. The wheel?
It's a wheel.
It's like a wheel, yeah.
They're always like...
I don't mind if they crash.
Do you have the same thought that I do?
That was dark.
No, she's
both were there.
She's absolutely right.
If you're going 12 miles an hour on one of those things, natural consequences will take care of you. We don't need to ticket you.
Yeah, that's Darwin at work.
I don't know how they do this.
They ought to call that thing the Darwin. It really should.
Talk about a female repellent. That thing.
The wheel?
The wheel.
And a fanny pack?
Dorkfest. Have you ever seen, two things. Have you ever seen a girl on one? No.
No.
Have you ever seen an attractive male on one?
No.
They're always like pudgy guys with too much facial hair in their 20s who probably... Here's the other thing. There's a guy, I don't want to say his name because I don't know his name.
Okay.
But he lives in my area.
Makes it easier.
Because he lives in my area.
Okay.
But he drives around and he whips around. Those things go like 20 miles an hour. He's on a wheel all the time. But you know what he has? It's ridiculous. He has a Bluetooth brake system worked out. So he actually has genuine red lights on his back that hook up to his backpack. And he just goes... zooms down the way, and it's all like a leaning thing.
Yeah,
I think.
It's an inertia.
You lean forward,
right?
But when he pulls back and stops, he's got like a blinking red light on his back.
It flashes red.
Yeah.
So the guy on the wheel behind him doesn't run up his backside.
Or it just says, "Women, stay away from me." Ridiculous. Do we have any more?
John in Shoreline says, this is wild. Tickets for pedestrians, financing tacos. Did you guys eat some mushrooms?
These are all real stories, though.
Yeah, we're not making this up.
We're not making any of it up. That's like we feel crazy telling you, but they're crazy. We're not the crazy ones. They're crazy. I'll just keep saying that to sound less crazy. Let's see. On Saving Wilkinson, Joe in Shoreline says, I love Wilkinson. I think it's pronounced Wilkinson. Perfect retirement area, but it's so wet most of the year. I used to go down there all the time on way to Carbon Glacier.
Yeah.
Most peaceful part of the park. Doesn't Gene Simmons from KISS live in the area now?
What?
Maybe he can build a luxury spa. Would go well with the wet forest vibe. Others will follow. That's just it. Just like Lightning McQueen went to Radiator Springs. Suddenly the town has a draw. You need a famous person. If I were them, just my advice.
Okay.
We talked to Jamie Paloli from the local town historical district.
Side,
Here's what I would do. I would try to draw in a famous person. Or make it a town where like famous influencers could go and like post videos or some dumb thing. And then people would flock to it.
If Gene Simmons lives locally, there's your monetary source. That guy's dripping in money. Make a KISS bridge.
He's got a lot of money.
Officially branded KISS bridge.
Yeah, just 2 tongues.
Right, 2 tongues and a bunch of flames. Every time somebody comes over, flames shoot up.
I'd drive over it.
It'd be great. I'd go down there just to take the bridge.
Finish off with this 3601 Spike. The very last one.
Oh, I'm seeing James Taylor on Sunday night at the Chateau Saint Michel.
You were just playing James Taylor.
Yeah.
Our town. Amazing. Unbelievable. All right. Stick around. We got a lot more coming up. Have you guys heard of toilet paper dust?
What?
Toilet paper dust. Yeah.
This is a real thing?
Well, it's a Reddit post.
Should I check for it?
No, it's a real thing, and you're going to find some in your bathroom. Once I tell you about it.
Oh, good. I thought we were going to find it somewhere else.
Once you see this, you will not be able to unsee it. I'll tell you about it next. Stick around.
The John Curley Show.
They call him Reggie Smiley Wilson. How many years did you drive a Metro bus?
36 years.
You were the guy that had a smile sign. When people came on, you say smile, you do jokes.
That bus is reality. And everybody needs to know that, hey, man, my reality is no different from yours because I got to eat, I got to sleep, and I got to work. And I think we all want to do it a better way.
Watch the John Curley Show live on YouTube, weekdays 3 to 7, and download the KIRO News Radio app.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details. Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Every client we have will know that we see them as people, not criminals. Our clients will be heard. Our clients will be understood. They will be valued. They will be seen. Nobody should drink and drive. It's dangerous. We want to keep the streets safe. We want to keep our kids safe. The thing each of our clients gets to know from us is that they are not problem people. They're individuals who made a mistake.
DUI Heroes, your DUI defense specialist. DUIHeroes.com.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
I've always been a super athletic guy, but after I turned 40, I noticed I was slowing down. Instead of hitting the gym after work, I spent my evenings on the couch with a bag of chips. I was gaining weight, losing muscle, and when I did try to work out, I ran out of energy right away. One of my buddies suggested I book a free testosterone check at Revive Health, and that's when I learned that low T doesn't just impact how guys perform in the bedroom. I worked with a provider to create my custom treatment plan, and today I'm feeling stronger than ever. Last week, I even set a new PR at the gym. My only regret is not reaching out sooner.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com or call 206-529-1111. Again, that's 206-529-1111.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or at your local CVS.
Say hello to summer and savings with your very own saltwater hot spring spa from Olympic Hot Tub. Through May 26th, get special pricing and interest-free financing till 2030. More at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Winners of 3 2025.
Welcome back to the show. All right, we got 2 things to get to really fast before we send you on your way. To stay exactly where you are, actually, and listen to the John Curley Show, which you should be doing every day, obviously. Another thing you should be doing, we're not trying to guilt you into it. It's just like, we're giving you this fun service. We just, a little quid pro quo. Download the KIRO Radio app, and you can watch us live if you want to, or you can go to YouTube and you can look up KIRO News Radio on YouTube, and then you can find the Jake and Spike Show, which gets uploaded. Not only are we live every day from noon to 3, but we're also uploaded every single day, almost immediately after the show. And you can watch the full 3 hours, and it's a ton of fun. And people are texting me all the time, late at night, saying they're drunk, watching the show, having a great time. I'm not suggesting that you drink with it, or that we're somehow more entertaining with drinks, but whatever.
But it's an option for you.
To each his own. Yeah. Some people just drink like a ton of water, and they really hydrate.
Right.
And they listen to us.
You should be hydrated when you watch, too.
Exactly.
That's a good tip there.
And then you got to pee. All right. Real quick, speaking of bathroom, Kirkland toilet paper dust. Have you heard of this? Kirkland brand toilet paper?
I was completely in the dark on this.
Mm-hmm.
I was unaware.
Where do you get your toilet paper?
Costco.
Do you get your Kirkland brand?
No.
What?
We spend the extra money for the one with the bear on it.
$20. That's all it is. $20 for the Kirkland brand. It's a fine quality TP.
It's only $105 for the other one.
What are you paying for the other one?
It's probably $27, $29.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I forgot how rich you were.
You forgot who I married.
My
family. If it were me, I'd be in the yard reaping leaves.
You're one of those guys that has a toilet paper separator, so you can make it last twice as long.
No, I'm not.
2-ply.
No, I'm not.
At least you're not washing it and reusing it. There's apparently a dust that happens, and people have noticed for whatever reason with the Kirkland brand. And
really?
But I know it happens with some other ones too.
Okay.
I've experienced it also with Cottonelle.
Okay.
But I know there's some other ones. But there is a fine dust, almost as if a moth has made a home in your bathroom and just like fluttered its little wings everywhere.
So as you take it and for use off the roll, there's a dust that falls.
There's a dust that falls by the wayside.
Dust? Okay,
and then it settles on things. You might notice this on your vanity.
Yeah,
you might notice it on the back of your toilet bowl.
I think I may have and not known what it was from.
That's your toilet paper dust.
That's the dust. Even the good stuff.
Think of this. You're breathing that in all the time. Every time you go in your bathroom, you're just breathing that toilet paper dust in.
It might be the safest thing I breathe in my bathroom, by the way, but that's a different story.
I actually, whenever I use my bathroom, I have a breathing apparatus that I bring in with me. It's hooked up to a little oxygen tank just to be safe.
It's like a snorkel to the outside world?
It's like a snorkel to the outside world, and I don't want people to think that I'm some sort of a weirdo.
Or a germaphobe.
Or a germaphobe. That's not you. That's what I do. I go in, I have my O2, and I go in there, and I go to the bathroom. I never light a match afterwards because of the O2.
Right. You do have a lot of boys.
I do have a lot of kids.
You're thinking ahead here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Boys can destroy a bathroom.
Just joking about the breathing apparatus, by the way.
But not the boys.
Let's see here. Laura, let's just go right to the other video. We've done enough toilet paper. We're going to go right to the other video. People may have noticed, if you've been listening to the show for a few months, you may have noticed that we've kind of like put a little bit of a stopper on political talk. We just got tired of it. And we do a lot of other type of stories now.
Yeah.
And I think the only way going forward, if we're going to stomach a political story, the only way that I'm interested in a political story is if they are first made into AI babies. Have you seen this on all the different websites? These are viral videos.
I haven't seen politics, but I've seen every TV show.
Okay.
They have an AI baby version.
If you're watching on YouTube right now, you're going to enjoy yourself. And you may have seen it, but if you haven't, then this is a gift to you. There is some AI company makes these AI babies, and this is an AI Bernie Sanders, and it's an AI RFKJ, and it's that committee hearing where they're going back and forth talking about...
Very contentious.
Very contentious.
And if we try to watch this with the two actual players involved, it just is too divisive.
It's divisive, but if you see it in babies, you just end up smiling the whole time. So let's play this for the audience here. This is just, it's going to warm your heart. It's great. And they're talking about onesies, too. All right, let's play this thing.
They are selling what's called onesies. These are little things... clothing for babies. One of them.
This was an actual conversation they had, by the way.
This is real tape from a hearing.
Is titled "Unfaxed, unafraid. Are you supportive of this?
I've had nothing to do with
Are you
leadership.
supportive of these onesies?
I'm supportive of vaccines.
Are you supportive of this clothing, which is militantly anti-vaccine? They are selling what's called onesies.
Isn't that the best?
That's hilarious.
It's so funny. I don't know how they do it, but God bless them. I want more of it.
This is genius. This is genius.
Yeah.
America would watch these.
Absolutely.
And we are, from a civics perspective, America is far behind in what we need to know as a population. I would watch every Senate hearing if it was made in babies.
The wisdom of children.
Oh,
absolutely.
And little Bernie's just cute as a button.
All right. Listen to John Curley. You're going to enjoy it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today. We're going to be back here tomorrow. Tomorrow's even going to be better than today, believe it or not. So make sure you come back. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Winners of 3 2025 Regional Edward R. Murrow Awards, including feature reporting.
The graffiti along Seattle roadways is the worst I've ever seen it. KIRO News Radio's Nate Connors and I set some parameters. I drove. Every click you hear is Nate counting a tag that defaces the public property you and I pay for.
We thank you. We are the Northwest leading news station because of you, inspiring us every day.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM.
Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens has given me back clear vision. They've performed over 80,000 successful lens replacement surgeries. At Sharp Vision, you'll get the best price combined with the best experience. Sharp-vision.com. That's sharp with an E, -vision.com.
Time is running out to save during our preseason AC sale happening now at Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Don't miss your chance to save 10% on a new air conditioner, heat pump, or ductless system to keep your home cool all summer long. Join thousands of satisfied customers and put your trust in the team voted best in the Pacific Northwest year after year. Hurry and call Bob's for your free AC estimate today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
So I formed Davis Law Group about 30 years ago, and I would get, the same questions from people about what to do in the case of an accident. Do you need a lawyer? To the point where I decided that I would at least write a book which would answer the common questions that I would receive as a lawyer. Once I wrote my